I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting some, powered by Polaris RZR. We are live from the UTV World Championship. We're getting some audio levels adjusted here, and we are live from contingency at the Polaris RZR UTV World Championship. And I got to tell you, man, things are starting to pop here, and you may hear some background noise, and I apologize for that. Those of you just tuning in, we are still getting our audio levels in check here, but I'm here with my co-host for the day, Scott Rain. We'll be holding it down today and tomorrow for all you fans tuning in on live. We're at UTVUnderground.com. And I don't know, what's your take on this event, Scott? You've been around a few times at off-road at these events. I mean, what's your take on this UTV World Championship?
First off, off-road, I love being on pavement. That is like the first thing I really, really like. There's not like every time a vehicle goes by, you're getting a cloud of dust behind it. But this contingency on pavement, simply fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, back in 2006, 2007, 2008, I really thought this side-by-side thing was going to just like a fad. I'm glad I'm not any kind of prognosticator because I would have been way blown out of the water. And the number of contestants here, the drivers, teams, contingency sponsors, companies, vendor row, whatever you want to call it, is blowing out any other form of off-road racing that I've seen. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of race teams here as well as sponsors. This is great.
Yeah, and talking with, I believe, Rusty here from UTV Underground, who is producing this for our Cover It Live chat on UTV Underground. So those of you listening in at other sources, you probably want to skip over to UTVUnderground.com for this broadcast. You can get in on that Cover It Live chat. But he was saying over 200 entries, I believe, on the pre-run. 200 entries. I mean, that's insane. I mean, most desert races aren't pulling that in. Torque, Lucas Oil, nobody is. I mean, 200 entries, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, the only events really in short course I think that can number that are obviously the Crandons, the Bark River. But outside of that, where do they park to unload their race cars that come here? I mean, are they driving down the street from the course or the hotel parking lot at Harris here across the street? Where are they going to unload these things?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm looking around. I'm lucky I found my parking spot early. No telling that I'm going to be able to get out of it later. Probably packed in, but this is wild, man. So any of you fans listening into this right now, I got to tell you, UTV World Off-Road Championship going down in Laughlin, Nevada. It's contingency day today. Everybody's getting their cars inspected, taking it through. The fans can check it out. Lots of vendors and stuff like that. Racing doesn't start until tomorrow. It's all free to take in. So if you're in the Nevada area, Arizona, Southern California, make your way out to Laughlin. I know there's still a few hotel rooms available.
Otherwise known as Fremont Street South.
Yeah, Fremont Street South,
this
right?
This is what it's like.
Yeah, this is like junior Las Vegas, right? I mean, it's crazy, though. I mean, vendors here, I've been to a lot of desert races, a lot of contingencies, and, trying to give people a feel for this atmosphere. But, this is packed. Every major off-road vendor you could think of is here and representing for the UTV community.
And what's really interesting as well, it's you have Harrah's across the street, and there's a lot of people there staying that aren't off-road fans. That's not what they're here for. There's a lot of, dare I say what I call them, blue hairs. They're here to gamble and take tours and stuff. They're seeing all these RZRs parked in front of the hotel wondering what's going on. And even they're coming over here this morning before the gates even open to check out things. Yeah, I was thinking about getting one of these, or, I got one. I want to do this to it. And it's fans. I guess you could say they're not even fans. They just happen to be here and want to know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there was some earlier. They had RZRs and they, tool around out in the desert and maybe get some, looking to buy like drive belts and some seats. And literally, fans from all over, all walks, like you said, young, old, they all can understand the UTV and its purpose.
Well, we're right across from the guys here from MTX Audio. we're looking straight off to our left where they're doing tech inspection. The guys are driving their UTVs by here. And here's the cool thing. Look at this. All sizes, all classes.
Yeah, the 170 races, looking at the kids rolling through here, a kid driving, dad in the passenger seat. I can tell you that's probably not going to happen on race day, but yeah, I know. Even talking to our good friends over here at Rigid Industries, Taylor, one of the owners. Obviously, you guys tuning in know that Rigid Industries sold, but the good thing is they sold in there's, I guess, a new company behind Rigid, but Rigid, everybody at Rigid, including all the owners, stayed on board to run the company. So, but Taylor, one of the original founders and owners of Rigid, he's here, and his kids are running the 170s in the 170 race. So, the next generation. I mean, you talk about trophy carts and stuff like that, but in the desert, these 170s definitely bringing in a new crop.
And the thing is, too, this is not strictly a Polaris event. I mean, all manufacturers it's open to all manufacturers.
Yes.
So if you got some of these other brands and you're still on the fence about coming out here and competing tomorrow, it's not too late. Come on out.
Yeah, I know sign-ups still going on if you wanted to come and race. And like we said, I mean, open spectating tomorrow. Laughlin, kind of a central hub here, not too far from Arizona. Las Vegas, really not a long drive for SoCal. So anybody that wants to come out, free spectating. And I got to tell you, 200 entries, both the desert classes, and then they've got a production class, as well as the 170 races for kids. I mean, arrive and drives going out. I don't know how many people stop by and wanting directions for the arrive and drives. I mean, lots to happen and lots to do here.
And that was probably one of the things we've been actually watching or listening to a lot is some of the people that from the hotel coming up here, and they saw notices down there at the hotel about the arrive and drives. So they're coming up here and asking us questions, and I'm kind of sitting here going, that way.
Yeah.
Probably be pointing them in the wrong direction, but they're coming up here, just people off the street want to know where these things are at.
Yeah, and I know it's the mix. Talking with the drivers, it's a desert course, long distance desert course. Going to, kind of 11, 12-mile loop, I believe. Going to kind of bridge that gap. They also have a stadium course built, so lots of various terrain. I know Fox throwing up some money, and they're going to have a long jump. The longest jump of the day, I guess. I can't remember the official title of it, but, Fox throwing down some money for
I think
whoever.
Big Air or something
Yeah,
like that.
Fox Big Air. But, I believe they're building a huge stadium jump out there. So, lots of excitement on tap for tomorrow for sure.
Well, like you said, there's a short course event and there's going to be a desert event. I'm still learning the side-by-side thing, this whole competition side of things. The cages are different. The doors are different. Holy smokes, this man is lost. Larry Rosser.
Yeah, we got to get him to grab a headset real quick. We're not going to let Larry Rosser go by without grabbing a headset for a 2-minute interview. You want to talk about off-road legends, Larry Rosser popping in.
When you get to be his age, though, he needs to actually have a chance to sit down before he makes his way down the end.
Hey, be nice now. Be nice.
Yeah. Well, what brings you out here? I mean, we see you, out at desert racing events quite a bit. What brings you out to the UTV World Championship?
I'm probably one of the biggest UTV enthusiast fans out there. I love it. I've been doing it for many, many years. Not competing, but just a lot of fun trips, 3-4 day trips, Baja up in the high desert. Just did the Desert Bloom Rally last weekend in Quartzsite. Jason from KC Lights is organizing that event. So I'm just a big fan, enthusiast. I wanted to check this out and support the event. Still real active in racing, of course, so Best in the Desert, and there's a lot of sponsors here and friends, so I'm maybe 3 hours away, so I wanted to come up and check it out.
Yeah, well, we know you're still active in a trophy truck. How do the 1000s look? I mean, any chance maybe in a one-off seeing you in one of these at one of these short course events?
Well, absolutely. I'm really happy to announce I just did an agreement, a partnership with Polaris. So it's a PR-related contract, and for sure in the future you're going to see me in a race car. And like I said, I just really love the sport. I love off-roading, and the whole UTV has evolved, over the last recent years. So the cars are phenomenal, just tons of fun. So for sure, I'm looking forward to get out there racing.
Well, my question for him is this. Okay, you got all these vendors here. They're all selling their products and their wares and stuff like that. Have you spent any money yet?
I spend plenty of money on my toys. Not today yet, but I'm definitely making some connections. And like I said, I have existing sponsors here. and it's just a great place to mingle with the fans and the people and the sponsors and support the event.
Yeah. Well, talking about desert racing programs for this year, obviously, Parker 425. What's on tap for you guys this year?
I'm still with the Terrible Herps Motorsports team. It's a BFG monster sponsor team. We got third at Parker. It was a good run. The Mint 400, of course, is coming up, so that's a big event for us. But of course, Vegas to Reno, Baja 500, Baja 1000, all the big ones.
Yeah, for sure. So, we appreciate you stopping by. We saw you, and we can't let him off the hook without stopping in here. But you're making your way around, and hopefully you enjoy the weekend, and we'll have to catch up soon.
Hey, absolutely. Like I said, I'm just here to support everybody, and I just love it. Thoroughly love it.
Well,
Thank you.
next time he walks by, he's going to be doing it on the other side of the aisle, looking the other direction. He's not going to come around.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked to have you a part of the Polaris family, man. That's pretty good news, and
it's fantastic news. I'm really excited. I took my 1000 out. I have a 4-seat right now. I took it out last weekend at the courtside event and just had a blast in it. Got a 5-day Baja trip coming up here in a couple weeks, so I'm getting it all prepped, ready for that. So.
You're not slowing down at all.
No, not at all. I still ride motorcycles all the time. The trophy truck obviously is a lot of fun, but I've been involved with some Navy SEAL training for the last year or so with Chris Haynes, teaching them how to drive and ride. Have a contract with Fox, so I'm heavily involved with the Fox program and developing the shocks, which you can see on a lot of the cars here. So, I have, like I said, good sponsors, good people around me.
When you saw that Fox Shock trophy, were you kind of any way inclined to maybe enter the race for a shot at that?
Obviously I'd love to throw a helmet on tomorrow, but the reality of it is I'm not ready for it, but equipment wise. But this time next year for sure I'll be ready to go. I plan on taking that trophy home.
Yeah.
Well, here, one of the other trophies is Walker Evans has got a helmet that he signed, with the Walker Evans Racing graphics. If Larry had a chance to win that, do you think he would take that, but then take his own helmet off, autograph, and give that to Walker as like an even trade?
Well, I tell you, Walker's one of he's an icon in the sport. He's a good friend, and I've idolized him for many, many years. So he's really good.
I think he'd take we would take an autograph.
I think there's very mutual respect there, and he actually helped me a lot in the very beginning when I started driving. When I retired from motorcycles, Kurt LeDuc helped me build my pre-runner, and my first real racing contract was with Walker in 1995. So, that's really where it started for me, and I've been driving ever since.
So you drove one of those V10s, huh?
Yep. I did the Laughlin race here. And then I did the last 2 races of the year. Jack Johnson was in the car at the beginning of the year. We were up for the job, and he won the spot because he already had some racing, some driving experience. So they went with him, and things didn't really pan out so good. And so they gave me a shot at it for the last 2 races, and I finished both events. I remember in the 1000, I actually passed Walker, and he was changing the flat, so I'm first on the road now, and I could hear him on the radio. I'm coming, get out of the way. So I got team orders. I had to let him go by.
No, was it from Walker or Phillips?
No, it was from Walker. Yeah.
Well, I got to ask you, moving on. You worked, along with Walker. Obviously Herps now. We can't forget about the PPI program and working with Ivan there. You want to talk about some legendary teams you've been a part of.
Yeah, I've been blessed and I've been surrounded, even in my motorcycle days, by really, really good management, good people, good partners, and by no means this is not an individual sport. So, I got a lot of championships, I got a lot of wins, but I couldn't do it without good people behind me. So, the year driving with Ivan was just, that it goes without saying. It was amazing because, there is no other partner. There is nobody else that can say that. And unfortunately, that the program ended that year. And I've been involved with the Herbst family now for many, many, many years. But, like I say, Kurt LeDuc helped me, Walker. Can't forget about the Joe McPherson days, the McPherson Motorsports. 4 years with them, so that was a fantastic program also. And then, a couple years with Roger Norman. And then, I've been back with the Herbst now. They've gotten their feet back on the ground in the money situation, so we're rocking and rolling.
He's
cool.
having too damn much fun.
Yeah,
Man.
you got
There's no other way to put it.
living the dream, right, Larry?
I tell this a lot. I am. I feel like I'm still this little boy, and I'm just riding this wave and living this dream. And I get to ride my motorcycle, play in the mud, drive trophy trucks, drive UTVs, test Fox shocks, train Navy SEALs. I mean, I'm pretty blessed. I'm pretty lucky.
I got to kind of shift gears in a different direction. What's it like when you show up at one of these training sessions with the SEALs and they actually, I'm sure some of them know who you are.
Yeah.
What's it like when all of a sudden these guys that are like the best in the world at what they do look up to you?
Yeah, at times it's very intimidating because a lot of them are, they're well-fit guys for sure.
And body fat.
But no, it's cool. There's a lot of respect there. A lot of them do know a little bit about off-roading, have heard of my name. So for the most part, very humble, very appreciative kind of guys that they take everything they do really serious. So they actually listen pretty damn well, and it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun working with them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking time to stop by and chat with us. And, I guess 200 entries for tomorrow is what the number is.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm really excited about the direction the sport's going, and the contingency here today is fantastic. The support and the spectators, the vendors, it's just it's amazing. So it's good. It's healthy. It's healthy for the sport, and the entry numbers are great. Laughlin, the race here, puts on. It's a really good test of speed and bumps and technique. So it's a lot of fun here. So
yeah,
it'll be good racing.
Yeah, I think a lot of it mirrors what we used to run at the Laughlin Desert Challenge. So it should be a pretty diverse course for these guys for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
well, I do appreciate it, guys, and
right.
if anything else I can do.
Yeah, you get any extra toys laying around? I mean, feel free to park one, like right.
Well, unfortunately, today I just drove up in a little S10 pickup, so I didn't bring any toys.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Right. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot, Larry.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The legend, Larry Rosler. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thanks.
Yeah, Larry stopping by. I mean, people from all walks of life, coming out here. We talked about it earlier. You got some of the, the older crowd from the casinos, and Larry Rosler, and now he's going. He's on a contract with Polaris. UTVs.
Something's going on there. I mean, I knew this category for Polaris has absolutely exploded, but I'm starting to learn more and more and more just to what extent it's global, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you talk about Larry Rosler. I mean, just earlier I saw Larry Ragland, another legend. You can talk about the two Larrys, but Larry Ragland, we're going to have Chad Ragland, his son, on air later today. But he's a big ambassador for the UTV industry. I mean, him and his son, Cageworks, they've got their own UTV company. I mean, it's just crazy. Like you said, I don't think any of us predicted how this was going to explode, this market.
What can you address it to? I mean, it's everybody. And the thing is, it's not just in this part of the country. It's also east of the Mississippi as well. And then you talk about Dubai.
Camp Razor in Dubai. I mean,
exactly.
They've gone. You go to Mexico and you see people in these machines. You go anywhere. It's crazy. And, I know in my small town, I mean, these things are street legal. People use them as their daily driver. It's not just a weekend toy. So these people, it's a car replacement.
Yeah. And the thing is that, this is pretty much sank any aftermarket golf cart company that we used to see all the time in Phoenix area. All these people that go there to retire, and you see the street legal golf carts. Well, now they're razors.
Yeah, you talk about that. I mean, the UTVs, I mean, the golf cart market, it's taken over that. These things are so much more than a golf cart.
Jimmy, you've arrived as a category or a vehicle when, if you've been to Phoenix, you've been to some of these grocery stores there. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, I pulled up to a brand new grocery store in Phoenix on my way to Speed World. And you've got your handicap parking by the front door with the signs. Guess what was right next to it? Signs that said golf cart parking. Right next to the handicap. So, and there's probably 6, 8 slots there. I'm thinking, okay, when the signs say razor parking, then I think they've arrived.
Yeah. But and this is a question, and I haven't been there in a while.
Keep going, Sarge. Just keep going.
Yeah, we got the boys from MTX. He can sit down if he wants. Got some time, but we got MTX Audio. Those of you tuning in may have heard some tunes going on behind us a little bit ago. But, here's a question for you. So Catalina Island, we all know how, golf carts are over there, and that's a means of transportation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have the Razors taken over Catalina Island? I mean, are they allowing those in to take the place of the golf carts?
I have no idea.
That's a question.
I've seen it from a distance. I've seen it from the air, but I've never been actually on Catalina.
You haven't been to Catalina?
No.
And you're from SoCal.
More or less.
Yeah.
I'm a Green Bay guy, remember.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I know,
a cheesehead, but
you live in SoCal now. I mean,
I've flown over Catalina in a helicopter, but I've never actually spent any time on it. And my wife keeps nailing me about.
I was going to say,
doing that.
I'm telling you, go and spend a weekend there. It'll definitely, your honeydew points are definitely going to go up.
Oh, that's never going to go away. That's a never-ending battle.
Yeah, but no, definitely earning points by taking your wife to Catalina.
She's got a horse now. I got all the points I need.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, you got a lot of work. You got all the work you need too, I'm sure. Horse is definitely never-ending work there. I think that's more. I think a horse is a bigger time investment than having a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
I got nothing. Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR, airing on UTVUnderground.com. Jim Beaver, we're here with Scott Rain. We're here at Contingency at the Polaris UTV World Championships. Got our boy Rusty from UTV Underground. He's holding it down on the cover at Live Chat. What do you think about all this, Rusty?
He's got his face buried about 3 inches from that screen desk, typing away. New cars. It's crazy. I mean, people literally pulling out all the stops here. I know Mitch Guthrie looked like he had a new hot rod from Nelson Racing, right? And single seat, offset cage. I'm kind of waiting to get a look at that. I know reached out to Mitch. Hopefully we can get him to sit down at some point today when he cruises by. I want to talk about that new car because the pictures are starting to circulate online. I'm sure UTV Underground, you guys are going to be doing a write-up on it, right? It's a feature this morning. All right. Yeah, you definitely need to check out that because you want to talk about a revolutionary car. I mean, that thing is it's just over the top, really offsetting the cage, single seat. I mean, it's gone from taking a UTV and making it race-worthy to basically creating a race car from a UTV, Oh, plus fresh off their win at the King of the Hammers as well. So they've also won a brand-new RZR as being the champions there at King of the Hammers. So they're going to have to add on to their garage or their shop with all the RZRs they got coming in. Plus, they're going after possibly another RZR this weekend if they win the event.
Yeah, and I know he's racing Terracross this year, so there's another one in the stable for Terracross.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it just it's crazy. I mean, you want to talk about one of the people that's kind of been defined by the UTV industry. Obviously Mitch Guthrie, RJ Anderson. He races short course, but I mean UTVs have really defined him as a driver.
And the thing is, RJ is one of those products that started in trophy carts, all the way from the Junior 2s with the 12-hole horsepower, and into the modifieds and into the UTVs. I'm trying to figure out if there is a vehicle that he hasn't driven yet, along with Sheldon Creed. I mean, is there a four-wheel vehicle that these two guys have not driven yet? RJ Anderson, I think he's kind of like the Polaris RZR stunt dummy sometimes because some of the stuff he goes out there, he's like, Scott. He kind of pointed at some things on that video. He goes, I thought I was going to die. And he has that 21, 22-year-old freaked out eyeballs looking at me when he says that. Yeah. So the kid's crazy talented without a doubt.
Well, I know, and I've sat down with him and Matt Martelli at the same time, and it's funny after the fact they laugh, but Martelli's, they like to push limits. That's what they've been known for. And RJ, I think he was a little uncomfortable with some of the limits that the Martellis were pushing. Oh, and here it comes right here. This is the car we were just talking about, Mitch Guthrie.
Oh, look at the Rose Bowl wave he's got down.
He's got the wave.
Lead with the elbow.
Yeah, he is definitely proud of that thing.
Wow, that thing stands out.
Yeah, he's going to pull it in there, and we're going to see if we can grab him. But beautiful, beautiful car. UTVUnderground.com. If you're not listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, we're airing on UTVUnderground.com as well as our other channels right now. You want to be listening in at UTVUnderground.com, though, because we're doing a cover it live, but over-the-top features going down.
Another one of the trophy cart kids.
Yeah, another
right
one
here.
of the trophy cart kids stepping up.
But he used to be like this tall, though. That's the thing. Now he's like 6'9". Right?
Oh, we got to get you mic'd up. You there?
Hello.
All right, we got you mic'd up.
Oh, he's
now.
got that deep voice too.
Yeah, well, tell us about this new machine. We were just talking about it, and then like literally your ears were burning as you're driving down the street, I think.
Yeah, it's my new Polaris RZR built by Nelson & Nelson. I'm pretty stoked on it. You know, we wanted to just change it up and try something different, so that's what we did. And you know, we got this single-seater over the just over the driver, so I'm pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, it's definitely an offset cage, you know, and you know, kind of what was the mindset? I mean, just totally. I mean, you know, there's nothing else like it out here, really.
Yeah, exactly. You know, John Nelson built it. He used to race or build trophy trucks and everything. So, you know, he likes to, you know, try and switch things up and build the best of the best. So, you know, everything's been going in one direction in the RZR industry. So we wanted to switch it up and see how we could change it up.
Yeah, well, and talking about the car, I mean, you know, how many test miles do you have in it, honestly?
We got about 40 test miles in a few days before we got here. So, I mean, the thing ran perfect. We had no problem, so I'm pretty stoked for the race. I think we're
kid is celebrating Christmas in February. Look at that smile, like Christmas morning, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how's it comparable to some of the other RZRs you've driven and raced? I mean, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, definitely. We put a lot into it. You know, we spent a lot of months, you know, designing it and everything. So compared to my last RZR that I raced last year, I'm super pumped. When we tested it, it was super fast, so I think it's going to perform pretty well on the track out here.
Well, let's talk about the single-seat design and how it's so much different than everybody else's. It's kind of like I explain trophy trucks to people. It's like a Cadillac that just sails across the desert at 120, 130 miles an hour and soaks up all these crazy bumps. But then I explain to them Pro 2s are also two-wheel drive, but they're more Corvettes. You handle the cornering and stuff like that. How is this compared to that? Is it like a Corvette now, able to handle the corners quicker than, say, a traditional RZR?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely lightened up a ton. We lightened it up a ton, and you know, we got some Muzzy motor in there. So John really built it around cornering and, you know, getting all this the weight symmetry and everything. You know, the corner weights. So we really have it set up, and having him, you know, guide us through that whole process of building the thing and making it the best of the best for, you know, cornering and straight lines and everything. It really was big and huge in making the car fast.
Yeah. Have you had to adjust your driving style accordingly? I mean, because you're used to, I guess you'd say, a top-heavy kind of vehicle. Now it looks a little bit lower, plus the center of gravity is like more towards the middle. Have you had to change your driving style?
Yeah, it's definitely changed up. You know, when we went testing, it was different from my other car. It's a lot lighter, so, and where I'm positioned in the car was huge. So, but it was a good thing though, because it felt much faster and, you know, more stable. So I was pretty pumped on how it felt, and I'm stoked.
So is he going to go for that Big Air trophy? Are you going to go for the Big Air of that new car?
Yeah. You know, I'm trying not to wad up the new car.
trying to keep it on all fours. So I know, you know, God, we got people just swarming over that car over there as we walk by. But give us a little lowdown. What's the racing schedule look like for you guys this year?
We got a ton of stuff going on. We just did King of the Hammers, and you know, I'm racing the Work Series as I usually do. And next weekend we're going into the second round of that, or the third round actually of that. I'm racing the UTV Underground Championship. Hopefully, maybe we'll get out to some Lucas Oil races in our old car. You never know. And I'll also be racing Terracross. So we got a lot going on this year.
I gotta say, I'm racing Terracross this year, so I'm stoked.
We're going to be competitors now.
Yeah, well, it's all in fun, right? But no, I think it's UTV racing. I mean, it's just blowing up. It's cool that, you know, you have all these different championships that you can compete in. You know.
Yeah. There's definitely so many different series for so many different racing styles. You know, you desert, short course, and then you got everything in between, and then you got these awesome world championships. So the UTV industry is growing like crazy, and I'm pretty proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, part of the champions package from King of the Hammers is you guys won an XP1000. And I had to remind your dad about that. I asked your dad, it's like, where are you going to put another RZR? He looked at me with this blank look on his face. I forgot all about that. Well, okay, you got one coming soon. This weekend you have a chance at another one. How big is this shop of yours going to be? Is it going to be like Richard Childress of the UTV world, or what?
Yeah. It's getting there for sure. It's getting there. We're working on it. Hopefully we could add one more after this weekend.
Yeah.
And there's Dad with nothing to say.
Just, no comment, right?
Well, he's doing good.
You're going to become a Polaris dealer by default, you know?
I know. You know what? The thing is, you know, we need to sell some of them sooner or later, but I like them too much. I get attached to them, and we just can't do it.
You know what's really neat is, like, you know, just watching all the drivers go on by, as Jim and I kind of touched on it before. I don't care how many races these kids win. he is always going to be one of my trophy card kids from like 10 years ago. You're always going to be that little kid that was like 4 foot tall, squeaky Mickey Mouse voice, and now he's out here winning championships, kicking guys' butts that are twice his age. Oh, there we go.
We got Joe Duncan from Terracross, our next guest. He's popping in with a propaganda. The propaganda. Well, I got to tell you guys, beautiful machine over there, and it's I guess 200 total entries we're hearing for this event. I mean, it's just it's going to be a stacked field. I mean, what's it going to take to win tomorrow?
It's going to take a lot. I mean, it's crazy the competitors we have, and people coming out with the best of the best. But that's what we try to do here. So I'm going to give it my all tomorrow and see what we can do. That's for sure.
Well, one last question I have for you. It's sunk in now, week and a half or 2 weeks or so. King of the Hammers champions, what was it like? And I'm going to look at Dad right now. What was it like to win something like that was a global event with your son?
Oh, it's awesome. It's always fun to race with him and have him beside me. And it's just one of those things where, people think the more you win, it doesn't become as fun anymore. It becomes better. And it just is a huge accomplishment because everybody, counts us out. They're getting lucky. And, we don't get lucky. We do our homework a lot that people don't know about behind the closed doors. We do a lot of prep and a lot of homework.
Well, I mean, it was such a neat thing, Jim. When they came up onto the podium, these guys were spent. Both of them were absolutely spent. And they kept turning the microphone over to Junior because the old man was too tired to talk. And I think it was just you were still in shock that you guys won. I mean, it was a dominating win. Absolutely all-day-long event. Took the green flag in the morning, and you guys just – and it was not just an off-road race. I still don't know how these things can climb rocks the way they do.
Yeah, no, they're insane. And like my dad said, with all the prep and hard work we put into it, it's a lot for doing that one race every year. And winning for the 6th time is huge for us. Like I said, after the work we put into it, it's so big.
6 out of 7 years, right?
Yeah, 6 out of 7. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think the 3rd year Jagged X got it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was quite the deal. So again, congratulations on another win and
thank you.
And keeping that string going along. And best of luck in 2015, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, that was the Guthrie, Scott. Nailing it down, and I got to tell you, that new car, it's looking pretty sharp, Scott.
Yeah, I mean that's. Just looking at it, just for picture purposes, has got to be considered a favorite out there on the track tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. So this is Jim Beaver with Scott Rain. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we are going to have Joe Duncan with Terracross. He is going to be on air with us. We're going to be talking a lot of UTVs with Joe. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, live from the UTV World Championship.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Rigid Industries Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. Man, we got the UTVs rolling through. You can probably hear some of the background noise here. But Jim Bieber, Scott Rain, we're sitting here with Joe Duncan from Terracross. How's everything going, Joe?
Things are great, boys. How about yourselves?
Just enjoying this UTV World Championship, man. I mean,
weather's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It's got very similar to Minnesota, where I just came from 15 below temperatures to 70, 80 degrees out here.
Oh, yeah, and we're in the middle of the desert, and I actually packed accordingly for a change. I'm all over. After last year doing the snowcross series, and then there wasn't one race that we had that was above zero. And now being able to do this when it's like mid-70s, I mean, this is incredible. This is awesome.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, you know, I had a chance to watch a few of the Terracross events on TV last year, and I'm telling you, that series seems to really be picking up. Some of the names you got running in that Terracross series, you had the Johnson boys out there for a couple of events. Boy, I can't think off the top of my head. I know a couple of guys from way back in the Pace U.S. Off-Road Championship Series that are in that. But man, some of the biggest names in motorsports are starting to stick their nose in the Terracross.
Yeah, it's a great series for the guys that just want to come and have a great time and be competitive and be on television. We build the series around the racers. We build the series for the racers and for TV. It's not just about the racing. It's about the racers themselves and the great products that we get to race.
Well, I mean, look at this. So you got Colton Moore, Dana Creech. That's who I couldn't think of. Jeremy McGrath, Levi LaValle, Doug Gust. He ran in the series. I mean, Andrew Carlson, he's right now racing in Chicago where Snowcross is at. RJ Anderson, yourself,
Jim Beaver. Welcome, Jim Beaver's
Jim Beaver
racing
should
this
be
year.
Top row center. I don't even see him in here. Where is he, man?
This is last year's program. He's stepping it up. He's coming to play with us.
Yeah, I got to tell you, going into this, I mean, I'm going in, and I want to win races. I just don't know. I mean, looking at this entry list, I mean, it takes a lot to win a Terracross race. I mean, not only skill, but I mean, there's a lot of luck that goes into it as well, man.
That's the key behind the racing. It's not about who has the best mechanics or the most money or who spends the most time in a vehicle. I mean, RJ Anderson, probably easily has more time in a Polaris RZR, especially a stock one, than anybody out there. And you think about it. And he comes and he loves the racing because it's so competitive. Everybody's in the same stock RZR XP 1000. There is no advantage. They're stock GBC Mongrel tires. They're stock suspension. We have a Walker setup and a Fox setup that are equal to each other. Everything is equal when they get in the car. When they put the helmets on, that's where the difference is.
And it's a very, very tight course. It's the ones that I've seen. I want to say I watched Charlotte. And obviously Del Mar.
And Heydays.
Yeah. I watched those. They were on TV. And man, tight courses, and they're not afraid to bump either.
Rubbin's racing in the old Terracross world. We're going to see how
there was no rubbing, man. It was some hard banging. Where's this rubbing stuff?
We like to call it rubbing. We don't want to make it. It's not a demolition derby, but I've seen a few people bump off of a few people. Jim, you up for that?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
If
I run a trophy truck. If you've ever seen IndyCar, man, we're always on
especially recently.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anybody saw my video from Parker? I drove over the top of a Class 1 car. So,
I had to go there, Jimmy. I
got no problems with bumping into people. But looking at this schedule, Joe, I mean, we've got this flyer here for the Terracross Championship, kicking things off San Diego, going back to the Midwest, and then Charlotte Motor Speedway. I mean, basically a nationwide series, a true national championship there.
Nationwide series, nationwide television with CBS Sports Network. What a great partner they've been. They really, I mean, most of our shows aired almost 5 times last year. So we have our original airs, we have our re-airs. Almost every show aired over 5 times last year. Kicking it off at Del Mar in San Diego. That event last year was so fun. Everybody loved it. We had Walker Evans and Larry Ragland out there racing. RJ and Chad got out there and raced against them. That was a great celebrity race. You got all these big names that showed up there last year, and it was just great competition, a great course, and it's in a tight, confined area. So, yeah, it is a lot of bumping. We build the courses with multiple lanes. We design them so it's almost like there's a joker lap in every section because there's always something different coming at you. It could be the tire section on the inside and flat and fast on the outside, and the next corner it's the exact opposite. And you got to pick your line to get through these things. You have to figure out what is faster for you, and then you got to try and beat that guy next to you to boot. So not only are you racing against the track, but also then you throw another 10 to 15 guys out there. It's a crazy chaos.
That was one thing I noticed. When you run laps, you have a tendency to figure out a corner or figure out a straightaway, and you kind of become accustomed to it. Even though the surfaces may change lap after lap, it's coming up. The jump is there, that kind of thing. When I was watching specifically Del Mar, I couldn't keep up with that track. There were so many different things, so many different lines, lanes. That's just kind of cool about it because you never really get accustomed to the track lap after lap. It's always completely different.
Well, that's one of the tricks to Terracross. And if you think of all the rallycross stuff we've been around and you get that one joker spot for passing, well, picture that joker spot 10 times on a racetrack. And that's what a Terracross track is. You have sometimes we have 3 and 4 lanes out there. Charlotte, we had 2 sections that had 3 lanes, all different obstacles all the way down, and a guy would come in and he'd be out in front, and you would watch on TV or in the stands, and a guy would go past him, but then he would have a slow section at the end, and then they come out almost equal. Again, racing is side-by-side action, and that's what we try and bring to the table at every event.
I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to Del Mar because the track is cool. I mean, obviously, it's a very communal, shall we say, facility. You're part of the fair, I believe it is, down there as well.
Yeah.
Which is one of the longest-running fairs. 3 weeks, I think it is.
Yeah.
And you're a quarter mile from the beach.
Yeah, it's everything. Everything just falls into place.
It's fantastic, man.
Falls right into place. And the guys at Del Mar, actually, Rob's out here right now that helps us with that facility. He runs that part of the facility. He's out here helping out. He's out there promoting the event already. Last year, when we went to Del Mar, we basically signed that deal less than 30 days before the event. So we had hardly any promotion for last year, and yet we had a great turnout, not only with just general spectators, but also with our off-road community. This year, we're inviting everybody out to that event, and you pay I think it's a $15 fair ticket, and you get to come to the races.
Yeah.
There's not extra tickets.
It's all inclusion.
It's all included. It's like, and we get the promotion from the fair. So leading up to the fair, they promote our event. During the fair, there's a jumbo screen. They get to show our event that happened at the fair. There's like 1.5 million people over the 3 weeks at the fair, and we and our partners get that exposure throughout the entire thing. So it's a great deal. We're way ahead of the game this year. Very similar with Charlotte. We had a great event. What amazing people to work with over in Charlotte Motor Speedway. And putting that thing together, again, somewhat last minute. We'd been talking about it, finally got the deal done, had a great track, and now we're off and running already for next year and putting together marketing packages and partners out there, and it's nice to be a little ahead of the game. And then we got a couple surprises coming for that Midwest one. We got some unique sites that we've been talking to and visiting with, and if one of these come together like we think they will, it's going to be a really, really cool events to be a part of.
Well, Jim, one of the things that's cool about Terracross is the facilities that they're going to, the racers want to go to. I mean, once you go to Del Mar, that's one you don't want to miss. It's kind of like Crandon and the short course racing.
Yeah.
Charlotte, the hospitality, I guess you'd say, of that whole community is phenomenal. They greet racing with open arms, and it's
Racing 101.
When we went there with Torque a few years ago for the first time, I can't tell you how many times fans in the stands that bought a ticket, that didn't know anybody, just wanted to watch off-road racing that they've seen on TV for years. I can't tell how many times I heard the same sentence, finally, something besides NASCAR. I'm like, whoa,
well,
that's powerful.
Then you throw the Johnson brothers
in
the mix.
Yeah.
Boy, did that get fun with those boys and their dad out there. He helped us with the course, and what a great time. Like I said, a great community, and that's racing right there.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of cool because Kenny Osborne and the guys from Black Rhino, it was like basically the day before.
Yeah.
We couldn't get stickers sent out to them fast enough, so they had to find somebody local to make the stickers for Black Rhino to get these guys on the racetrack. It literally was like a 24-hour thing. The Johnsons had to be a part of it. Yeah. They just had to be. So they came out and had I guess Jared did pretty decent, if I remember right. Jesse had roller issues or something.
Yeah, he had a few problems. He had just a few problems. But they had a blast, and then one of the cars had some problems, maybe because of a little accident. But then they rode together, and they did a Chinese fire drill in the middle of the race for the final.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was awesome. They just had, again, it's about having a great time. It's racing, it's competitive, but it's everybody just having a good time and putting on a great show for the spectators, a great show for the television, and again, the vehicle that we get to work with, the Polaris RZR XP 1000, it's stock. We literally take a stock machine, stock cage, we put tires and rims and safety harnesses in it, and we go racing. And we have little to no problems, other than a few drivers. But
he's making that. He's looking at me going, yeah, I know we're going to have a lot of repair damage with you.
But it's so amazing and such equal racing. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. I mean, look at Jason Ellis, what he did last year, and coming from no background, and he wadded up a few things. But I mean, it's just some great wheel-to-wheel racing, and again, the machines, Mystic Lubricants, helping out, making sure that all of our equipment runs good. We just have a great team of people on board, from the racers to our partners to my staff, which I can never thank enough, but it's good.
I'm looking at Jim right now. He's kind of fidgeting. He's getting nervous as I'm looking at the driver roster here.
No, look at that.
Are you going to have maybe a Geritol division for some of these?
Yeah,
we do have the Legends class. So if he doesn't make it in the rear, I mean, we could move him. Yeah. We got options.
Yeah, he's looking at me going, well, I can't say the women's division, but we may have to.
Well, no, you already have that coming.
Yeah,
you're helping out with Amy coming on board, and we actually have an amazing women's division. I mean, we just talked about some great X Games athletes, off-road truck athletes. UTV athletes, but now you take a look at our women's class, and
Katie Vernola jumping in.
Katie,
obviously, you and I are working with Amy to put together a ride there. But
Sarah Price, she's on board, and of course, last year's champion Jamie Luberg Ward, who unfortunately is not able to race this year, and she's having another little one, but she's coming to all the races. And she wants to be a part of it so she can come back and take her championship the next year. Cindy Hart and Jamie tied for the championship. Treya Barrett and of course Sarah Gilday. It was great. It was absolutely great. And what incredible head-to-head racing in the women's class last year. Add 4 more top racers, and we got a show.
Well, and,
even with Jim being there.
Yeah,
even with Jim being there. That might add to our show right there. That
halftime entertainment.
Halftime entertainment. Yeah, I did warn my Andy Ives and all the Polaris guys, our mechanics. I did warn them that stock up on extra parts. Jim Beaver's coming to play with us.
I told you this was going to be an ugly day for you.
I'm getting hung out here. Right? Next guest. Right?
Does Polaris make a bus?
Now, speaking of our next guest, I know we got. You can put the headset on. We got Brandon Schuler with Jagged X. He's stepping in. We got Joe Duncan.
Good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, all part of the Polaris family here, and it's When are we going to see you in a Terracross car?
I was just thinking the same thing. We've chatted a little bit online.
We talked about it for a long time. We just it never made it happen, but we have full intentions of doing it at some point. Just got to figure it out and make it happen.
Yeah,
there we go.
We got Joe Duncan putting the marketing deck in his hand.
It'd be great to have Brandon come out and got to come play with us. And
absolutely.
Just think what you could do to this guy. Just think we could do to Jim out on the track out there.
Absolutely, man. I'm all about it. There's a lot of good people out there, and it looks like a blast. So I'm excited for it.
Let's do it.
I'd definitely give it a shot.
Let's make it happen.
Sure. I know, it's you guys. I mean, Polaris Jagged X. You guys have been synonymous with Polaris and pushing UTV racing. I mean, it's since the beginning. I mean, you guys were one of the first teams involved, and have just continued to push.
Yeah, absolutely. We were pretty deep involved right from the get go, and Polaris has treated us really, really well, and they've kept us going. So, hey, we're going to ride it out for as long as we can. They're a great company to work with, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have created some. You guys had the Polaris RZR Jagged X edition there for a while,
yep.
And you guys have definitely hand in hand with Polaris helped grow this this industry and the racing side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. We try and work with some of the race organizations and with Polaris directly. We do some testing and stuff for them to try and let those guys know what other people want, not just what the engineers want to see and what they want to see, what the consumer wants to see a little bit. So we get a little bit of both sides involved in our input, and I think it's beneficial. I think it's beneficial for everyone. They're coming out with some of the best products, so that says something right there.
Yeah, well, and here's and this is a question to both of you. UTV industry, I know it's still such a young industry. When things came out, originally, I guess it was the Yamaha Rhino. We shouldn't say that on a Polaris show, but they kind of came out with the first UTV, and Polaris immediately jumped in and trumped everything. But did either of you ever have any idea? Scott and I were talking about how big and how huge this industry was going to grow.
I definitely didn't. I mean, we saw it coming out, and we're like, oh yeah, another quad. But
exactly,
it's not.
I thought it was going to be a fad.
Yeah,
I really
did.
Absolutely.
Well, who was going to spend $20,000 on a vehicle? And everybody was saying it. But when you put out a vehicle like this, and it lasts and it holds up, and you have great companies like Jagged X, on the performance side, putting this stuff together, how does it not grow? And we're just such a small entity. Just the tip has been broken right now, and where this can go in 2, 3, 4 years, and
absolutely. Polaris
building a plant over in Poland to produce these vehicles for more of a worldwide distribution. We have lots of options.
Yeah, we're all turning and looking. Yeah, all kinds of drivers coming through here. I won't.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I won't say much other than that driver is blonde. But no. I mean, Polaris. And your company Jagged X. I mean. You guys, talk about the first vehicles you raced to the ones you're racing now in the UTV World Championship, because night and day difference, right?
Oh yeah, huge, man. It's and we started in a Rhino. We did. That's how we first started. We raced a whole season. We finished 3 races. We moved into a RZR. We had 22 finishes before we had a DNF, and we burnt the car to the ground on a part that we had fail and nothing to do with Polaris. It was just an issue. And so there's a lot to be said about that. You start from a car that didn't finish, wasn't very competitive, and now, we're close to the top of the class, if not on the top of the class, and I couldn't be happier with Polaris. It's all thanks to them for sure.
Yeah, well, and I know me personally, you look at, some of the, we're not talking very long ago either, just a few years back, and the thought of taking a UTV and racing, say, Vegas to Reno, I'm like, I got no interest in driving a UTV 550 miles. Who are you kidding? That's nuts.
Yeah.
But now the times are so fast. I mean, it's not that big of a deal at all.
No, it's really not, man. I mean, me and my co-driver, we were in the car the whole race for Vegas to Reno. For the 1,000, we had 3 driver change. We did 450 miles apiece, and it was like nothing. I mean, the course is rough; it beats you up, but man, we're all about it. We'll do it all day long.
Yeah, one of the greatest testimonials. A friend of mine last summer bought an XP 1000, and now going back about 10 years in the Midwest Short Course Series, it's now Pro 2. Back then it was Class 8, and that's when he raced.
Yep.
And they were still pretty good trucks back in the day. He goes, I can go faster through whoop sections with this Razor than I could with my Class 8 back in the day. And we're talking that thing had 25 inches of travel, and he's not a guy to push any beans. He's ready, flat out tell you the truth.
Yep.
So it was kind of cool, and that's completely stock.
Yep.
I mean, he did go over to Randy Anderson. I think Randy did a little tweaking here and there on the shocks, but still.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have
minimal.
something off a showroom floor that is basically a recreational vehicle to be able to handle some obstacles faster and better and easier than full-blown race vehicles of 10 years ago.
Yep.
Well, we take 30 of them, 30 stock machines, do our deal, and throw them on a Terracross track and put them through that thing through the whole season. And that car, most of these guys take those cars and either turn them into a best in the desert car, or they use them as their trail fun cars when they're done. They don't throw them away when they're done. That's a full car that they use for recreational whatever when we're done with an entire season of racing. That's a stock car.
Well, and here's a question directed
Except
to you.
for his.
Yeah, except for mine. Mine's going in the Polaris Museum, as we can't believe this thing is still running.
Parked next to his trophy truck.
Luckily, the museum has a very small spot for those few parts that are left.
Yeah.
He raced the Terracross car at King of the Hammers.
Yeah, he did. He actually put it on 2 wheels before the race too.
So did BC.
Yeah.
And somebody else did too. They're just, the machines are just so well built, and they're built by people that are racing them. They're built by people. I mean, Andy Ives, he races with us, and he works on those machines, and just the people, they get it. They really get it, and they get what we put them through.
Yeah. That and they're enthusiastic. I've never met a group of people involved in one company that have been so excited about their job. Every person that you talk to at Polaris loves their job. They love what they're doing. They love their product, and it shows. It really does show, and you can't beat that.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question directed at you. I mean, we've seen your guys' builds. I mean, anytime you guys come out, Jagged X with a new vehicle, I mean, everybody gets excited over it. I mean, we've seen the evolution of these cars. I mean, I just saw, I see a car from Mitch Guthrie that looks, amazing. Where do you think the future is in the builds on these?
I hope it's way over my head. Honestly, I really do. I love seeing them getting faster and stronger and bigger and badder, but honestly, we don't know. Like I said, I hope it gets faster than I'm comfortable driving it. That's really what I'm hoping to see. Maybe a single seat version. This Ace platform is a great platform. It's selling fast and it's growing fast. Maybe that's the future. Obviously the 1000 is killing it right now, so maybe they got a future there. I don't know, but I sure am excited for it, and we're going to ride the train as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Joe, I mean, where do you think the future is? I mean, gosh, you guys could put on multiple classes. You think, an Ace? I mean, I could definitely see an Ace platform in Terracross.
We've worked with Holtz, who has a bunch of kits for them, and we've talked about the Ace and even down to like the 570 for a kids class, and we were looking at all of that stuff. But, we have a pretty unique program because it's an invite only and it's made for television. But you think of all these other circuits out there from Works, the Best in the Desert. You can go buy one of these machines and you can go right into racing. What does that do for the growth of our sport? Before you had to know what you're doing. You had to be a Jagged X to go racing. Now you can be anybody and get the Jagged X products and go racing. So it's endless. It's endless where this thing can go, and the platforms that we have to work with is amazing.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you one thing I love about the UTV industry and talking about that, but is is almost like the family atmosphere. I mean, the series, it's not like they're in competition with each other. They all embrace each other. I mean, here's Joe at Terracross. He's the best in the desert race, and conceivably we could see Casey Folks out at a Terracross event sometime, and King of the Hammers. I mean, everybody works together to help grow this entire UTV movement. I think that's what's cool because you don't see that in a lot of other motorsports.
Everything's a competition normally, and here there's so much growth and so much potential, and everybody wins. The bigger Best in the Desert gets, the better it is for Terracross. More exposure Terracross gets, the better it is for other race circuits. It's a win-win deal for everybody.
We've got racers such as yourself. I mean, normally in off-road here, I am a trophy truck guy. I don't ever drive short course. Most of the short course guys, they never drive desert. Here you are. We may see you in a Terracross car. We may see you at King of the Hammers.
Yep.
We'll see you, racing desert. I mean, that's what I think is cool because drivers like yourself. I mean, you're all over driving everything.
Yeah, and the vehicles make it easy. Honestly, that when it comes down to it, you get them. They drive. They kind of drive themselves, man. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, you're really comfortable.
My thing is for this guy right here. Okay, what is the next step? And I mean, what's the next step? Wind tunnel testing, something more with the suspension, some with the engine. I mean, you can't tell me you're satisfied with what you have right now. As a racer, you always got that inkling. How can I make this thing faster? Obviously, you can't tell speed secrets, but you. Give us something to kind of like taste right now.
Man, it is hard to say. Like you said, you got a lot of speed secrets. You work on your team the whole time, whether it's the car, or the pit crew, or whatever it might be. You work on your whole race program to try and make you as fast as you possibly can. And honestly, man, I think our cars have some room for suspension. Lightweight, man. That's all these cars are about. They have to be. The guy next to you may be 10, 20, 40, 100 pounds lighter than you in the car, and that's huge. That's where we fight. That's why we're running 2-seaters now, not 4-seaters. We couldn't get the weight down. So we're always fighting that. But I would say suspension, motor, keeping all that stuff together. But you got to finish the races too. So you got to walk that fine line of being able to test the car and have enough test time to be comfortable when you start the race. Because you don't want to test anything at the race. That's
he didn't
for sure.
give us crap.
I can't. He didn't tell us. I can't.
He danced around that very nice.
Cha-cha-cha.
He's done that before, right? Well, we're talking about a guy who, Jagged X, I mean, synonymous with UTV racing, been there from the start, and you guys are always progressing and pushing the limits, and I guess you do have to dance around the question a bit, right?
Yeah, you do, and like you said, we do get that question pretty often, but yeah, I mean, it comes down to all the same things that everyone else wants. They want to be faster to the finish line, and that's you got to find the right combination.
And Polaris has something up their sleeves, and something else is going to be announced in 2 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. That they're always working. They're always ahead of the curve. They're working on things 3-4 years out. So who knows what Razor's going to bring to us next? But I can't wait to see it.
Yep. It could throw all of us in a tailspin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and all of us have connections to Polaris, and still my mind is blown when they make an announcement.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea that was coming.
Yep.
It's one of those things. So you got to put you on the spot. I mean, this is a big race. I mean, 200 total entries. Obviously, that's not one class, but what's it going to take to win tomorrow?
Oh, man, I got to pass a lot of people. I start way back in the line. Don't know exactly how they're doing the start. From what I understand, is 25 wide, so I'm in the second row. If that all goes to plan, I've got a lot of people to pass to get to the finish line first. So I guess be safe and not try and get rolled over or broke.
Not make a mistake early, right?
I gotta make up time by not losing time, I guess, is the best way to put it.
No downtime, no flats.
Yep.
No.
How long is that first straightaway into the turn?
I don't know much about it. From what I can see, just cruise around the pits a little bit, it's not very long at all. It's not long at all. It should be actually really short into about a 90-degree turn. So
wow. This is going to be
maybe you don't want to miss that, right?
Yeah. Time to hit the YouTube and watch some of those starts at Crandon, man.
Yeah, no joke.
Wow.
Get a couple pointers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how's that compared to a Terracross start, Joe?
We don't line them up that wide, so we line them up 2 or 3 wide, and usually we have usually we have lanes that you have to go through the first corner that makes it so we can get through the first corner without having the pileups. A long history of snowmobile racing, as you know, and many first corner pileups. And so the one thing we try and do is eliminate that first corner pileup by our starting through their lanes. They have to go to a certain point. Once they get to that point, then it's wide open. But it sure makes for the start not to be a red flag or not to be held up or cars rolled over. So kind of works really nice. And yeah, I know, Scott. Yeah, no red flags. No red flags is our goal. Get through the first corner.
All right. Well, I got a question for you. Did you have a chance to go on the poker run and kind of do a relaxing kind of
fun
absolutely.
deal? It was pretty slow paced. But all in all, man, the course is really fast. Outside of that we didn't get to do the infield, all the jumps and stuff. But other than that, man, I think there's really one rough section on the course, and other than that, it's pretty high speed, nice big wide turns, pretty good berms. Everything's for the most part hard packed. There's going to be some fast cars out there.
You notice he's saying all that with his eyebrows way up into his forehead. Like he's kind of nervous.
I am kind of nervous. Because our cars are definitely not the lightest or the fastest. They typically handle the bumps pretty well, but not to say that everyone else's car doesn't. So
I got a feeling the first 5 minutes of the race, through the first corner, the first 5 minutes, when everybody's clumped up, you're not going to breathe the whole time.
No, I'm going to set a world record for holding my breath there.
Well, one little hint is I've heard this more than a few times from guys. I keep going back to Cranon because it's a similar turn one scenario. The guys that are like second on back, they say you won't be able to see.
Yep.
But you still cannot lift. You got to stay on that throttle and hope for the best, because there's about 20 guys behind you that aren't lifting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like just hopefully you're in the turn when you're actually in the turn turning
exactly,
and not think you're going straight. So I've seen more guys than not go straight off without that guardrail.
Well, and I got to ask you too. This is Best in the Desert race. You guys are going to be running GPS, right?
Yep, we got GPS.
Okay, so that's definitely going to help with I'm sure with the first lap madness.
Unfortunately, we don't have course for the infield yet. We could only mark the course when we went out and did the pre-run. So that first corner we're on our own.
Up for grabs.
Yep.
Hey boys, where are we going to be watching this from? Because I'm
from afar up on a tower. I'm going to be on the microphone.
I want to be right there in that corner watching that.
I got to say though, I want to see the
exactly.
GoPro footage from Brandon's car. After tomorrow's race, at least for the first corner.
Listen to us scream. Me and my co-driver screaming in the first corner.
Make it a manly scream at least.
We'll try. We will try.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate both of you guys stopping by and chatting with us. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you later, Joe.
Sounds good, buddy. Thanks,
all
guys.
Right, guys. Thank you. Yep.
I want to see you after
Polaris.
the race. See that expression, what it looks like.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's Jim Beaver with Scott Rain. We're still here. That was Brandon Schuler, Joe Duncan with Terracross, and Brandon with Jagged X Racing. I got to tell you, man, it's shaping up to be a heck of a start tomorrow, Scott.
It's, you kind of, you come into this weekend like this morning, everything was laid back and kind of people still setting up and kind of meandering into town. But now it's got that scenario where people are starting to they're thinking about the race now. The drivers specifically, the crews. You're starting to feel that tension a little bit. And tonight, once this is all done here, it's going to be tunnel vision. They're going to have the blinders on. It's nothing about the race and the green flag tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's all fun and games here, and we're joking and stuff like that. But you're right. I mean, there's definitely a serious race happening tomorrow with some serious money and prizes on the line.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I think, what was it, over $100,000?
Over $100,000.
In contingencies, plus they're giving away razors to the winners. Mm-hmm. That's a $20,000 machine right there. So.
And even Matt Martelli's he stated on I think it was Facebook last week, or this week I should say, some of the trophies that these manufacturers coming up with are one-offs. Just really cool themed. Fox Shocks has a really cool shock that's mounted to a pedestal, and that wasn't cheap to make. They're just so different. I can't help but think that some of the guys that are entering today are here because of that.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you're looking at your trophy case, one of these from the UTV World Championship is definitely going to stand out.
The first ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, this is Jim Beaver, Scott Rain. We're holding it down. We've had a great first hour here. Joe Duncan, we've had Brandon Schuler, we had the legend Larry Rossler. I mean, it's we definitely kick things off the right way, my friend.
Oh, it's going to get really good this afternoon, too.
Yep.
With some of the names that are coming. I can't wait to talk to RJ.
Yeah, RJ is going to be always fun to have RJ on air, and some of the others. I know we've got the Godfrey's going to be coming in. Colton Moore, Chad Ragland, he's up next. So, stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. We're airing on UTVUnderground.com right now. Jim Beaver, Scott Rain, we'll be back after this break.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes.
Dirtfish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you are looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors honing your skills, Dirtfish is the place for you. Dirtfish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, honing your racing skills, or just having a fun time, Dirtfish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at Dirtfish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, Dirtfish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Dirtfish Rally. The #1 off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet now has its own app. The Down and Dirty Radio Show official app is now available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and Amazon Kindle Store. Just search Down and Dirty Radio Show, and you'll have all the latest news, results, and blockbuster interviews from off-road, rally, drifting, supercross, and snowcross at your fingertips. Hours of interviews from the best drivers and athletes on Earth, such as Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, Tanner Faust, Brian Deegan, Robbie Gordon, and Jolene Van Vute are yours at the touch of a button. Download today and never miss an interview again.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Scott Rain, holding it down at the UTV World Championship here in the Polaris RZR booth, and things are really starting to pop here. Middle of the day, beautiful, absolutely beautiful weather. Slight breeze going on, surrounded by Rigid Industries booth. We got some PRP seats, MTX audio. We're here at Polaris RZR. I mean, this is just, I can't believe this turnout. I would have never thought.
And it's a fun environment. Everyone's all the manufacturers are like jabbing at each other and having a blast going. There's no real, you go to other scenarios and there's like trade shows and they're all kind of like cutthroat. Yeah. Here, everyone's just having a blast.
It's a good time. I mean, everybody's joking. We got Josh Martelli, one of the boys from Mad Media here, one of the Martelli brothers.
Thank God he's wearing a hat.
He's acting like he doesn't hear us, right? He's putting out fires. We're going to get him with a headset real quick.
Just keep the hat on. Don't expose the skull.
How's everything going, Josh?
It's going wonderful. How you doing, Jimmy?
Good. I got to tell you, Joey D blew us off. He ran by here and says he's too busy to talk. And I go, I got to grab one of the Martellis or somebody with this event we got to talk to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, first event, first time, you know, little fires we got to put out here and there. But everything's going really well. The turnout's fantastic. We have the best group of UTV racers from short course and from desert all across the country here today to compete on an absolutely brutal course. We did the Poker Fun Run this morning, and I'm telling you, there's some stretches out there that are really fast and wide open, perfect for passing, but there is some treacherous stuff back there. The Fox Shocks Proving Grounds, oh my God. You better bring your A game for that.
Well, and that's what I love about this entry list. You know, a lot of people want to put on a, quote, world championship, and they never draw everybody, and there's always a big name missing, right?
Absolutely.
This one, there's nobody missing. I mean, you have everyone from every UTV racing series. You know, they've begged, borrowed, or stolen a car to get here, but they are here.
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's a tough schedule. When you look at the off-road racing schedule for the entire year, there are not a lot of open weekends. Guys are constantly prepping, testing, rebuilding their cars. A lot of these guys came off King of the Hammers. A lot of these guys are getting ready to go to the Mid 400. So, you know, it's a challenge, and that makes it even better to come out here and win an event like this. It's really going to say something about the team, the driver, and, you know, let's be honest, the car builder.
Well, Josh, what was it like as one of the guys behind the scenes that's putting this whole thing on, an organizer? You've been buried at your computer on the phone for months about this event, and then all of a sudden, the chain reaction of phone calls. Dude, you're not going to believe who just called me. And then all of a sudden, was it 2 weeks ago, you guys announced that you crested that $100,000 purse mark. What was that like when all of a sudden that became official?
Well, you know, it was a testament to the sort of the family atmosphere in this industry. You know, once we made the announcement we were doing the championship, everybody started calling. They started, you know, asking us, hey, how can we get involved? How can we help? The racers started coming on board. The sponsors started coming on board. You know, obviously we have to give a ton of thanks and credit to Polaris for stepping up big and being our title sponsor this year. And then, you look at the roster of the other important partners that came on, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for their help. There's too many to name. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. You go from a concept on paper to here we are.
Was there sobriety involved in that moment?
Yeah, there's a little bit of mania involved for sure. But listen, we had to create this. We had to have a gauntlet. We had to have the test for these two disciplines within UTV racing, and it should be here. It should be in the Southwest United States. It should be these guys competing. If you were to ask me where do we go from here, well, we need to start bringing people in from other countries. We really want to make this the world championship, and by world that means drawing in those guys that race Dakar and drawing in trophy truck drivers who own UTVs. Like, we need to suck those guys in here. There's a few of them I'd love to call out right now that said they were going to be here today, but, they're not here with us. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. No, it's like I remember when I first moved to California, where I was working for Jim Baldwin, the week before the first race ever of Core out here in California, he kept coming up to me and, okay, who signed up? Who's going to be there? He was freaked out because he didn't know the racers who were coming.
Right.
You guys didn't. I can't see you guys having that problem.
We had a lot of guys let us know right away, and the good thing is they're connected to their sponsors, and it the messaging comes across, and it helps us adjust everything down river from there. Right, that's awesome. But we did have, a chunk of the short course racers, the production racers, come through at the, kind of the last second. And let's be honest, a lot of that's budget driven, and a lot of it has to do where these things fall in with their schedule. But, make no mistake, we're thrilled with the turnout. We're absolutely thrilled with the turnout.
One of the other things that I'm not sure if Jim had a chance to go any of the core races back in the day, but, you got to feel this morning what I felt coming into Chula Vista. You walk up to that big entryway coming into contingency and kind of probably what you do with the Mint 400.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, what are we getting ourselves into?
Yeah, it takes time, effort, planning, and really good people working with you to create the infrastructure for this thing and really represent where this industry is now. 3-4 years ago, it was in its growth and infancy stages. Polaris drops the first legitimate sport UTV model, and it's like it's somebody pressed the go button, and it's been moving at 1,000 miles an hour ever since then, and that's fantastic. And that's what we're trying to represent visually here. That's what we're doing with our television show. We're trying to take these sports global and do it in a way that lets people at home learn about the sport, get psyched on it, and really educate them so they understand that this type of racing is well within, a modest budget and accessible to anybody who wants to go to a dealership and get in a car. That's the beautiful thing about UTV racing. It's very difficult to go to a dealership and buy a trophy truck.
Well, and here's the other thing. It's like an event like this, and you and your group are solely responsible for this. An event this large, has got to cause a manufacturer like Polaris to find another gear.
Yeah.
To kind of downshift and find another gear, or upshift, I should say. And it's causing Polaris, the manufacturer, to have to step up to find another one.
Yeah.
So that in itself is kind of cool. You're almost putting pressure on them to come up with something else,
Yeah, I guarantee you within a year or two from now, you're going to see entries so high within desert racing and short course racing. You're going to see 2, 3, 4, eventually 500 cars entering these races because they're building such a solid platform. The amount of modifications that you have to do to these vehicles to make them race ready is not cost prohibitive, and they keep making the base technology better and better every year. There's a rad symbiotic relationship. There's a cyclical relationship between what we're doing out here and what they're doing back there in Minnesota.
Well, what's kind of cool too is you are creating on the first year of this event already legendary situations. I call it. Crandon is known for turn one. Well, I've been talking to a couple of competitors, both Jim and I, and they're all talking about turn 1 already. 25 wide, who knows how many rows deep,
right?
And they're talking about turn 1.
Right.
You guys are creating a legend of your own within a sport that has yet to take place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's borrowing from the best of those types of features that we've seen in other races. You mentioned Crandon. I mean, we've been going to Crandon for 10, 15 years. And, yeah, turn 1, it's insane. We want to replicate that. We want to take the best of those different events and different styles of racing and really throw it at the drivers and really test them. I mean, we're testing the driver's skill. We're testing the vehicles out here. You know, it's that old, man versus versus machine battle going on, and women. We have some women racing for sure. But yeah, it's this race I think has very quickly turned into a culturally relevant and exciting moment for this sport, and we're going to continue to grow on that. I mean, from our reputation with what we've done with the Mint for the last 4 years, that we're not slowing down. We're not slowing down. I mean, we're walking around here making notes going, all right, we're already looking into next year. What can we do bigger? What can we do better? And it's all for the love of off-road.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, man. I'm looking around here, and I mean, you and Matt. The past couple of years, you guys become like family, right? And I'm fearing for your health, man. Between the UTV World Championship and the Mint 400, I don't know how much sleep you boys are going to be getting the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the next question I had. It's like, how do you guys unwind after the Mint? Is there a tropical island that no one knows about?
You want to unwind with the Martelli boys. I tell you what, if you can get Josh and Matt after the Mint 400, they're a fun group to be around.
Yeah. We
the beach will never be the same.
Yeah, we're like the only few guys that stick around Sunday night, and that's because everything's done and it's time to go out and relax. And listen, the crazy thing is we have a brief reprieve after the Mint. And then, we kick it into gear with the next set of projects. I mean,
what is on the horizon? I mean, you got this event, you got the Mint. How can it get any? I mean, what more can be put on your plate?
I know what can be put into play. I mean, I've had these conversations. I know it's nothing for the air right now, but I got to tell you, I think we're just touching the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we can say publicly is we're not done producing insane viral videos with Polaris. The XP1K series is alive and well in the planning, discussion and creative phase for what we're going to do with the next video.
So you haven't found anything yet that RJ will absolutely refuse to do?
No, actually we haven't. That's the scary thing with that kid. That kid, he doesn't say no. Joey gets a little nervous. Joey D, when he's hanging out, and he doesn't always want him doing half the stuff that we come up with, but
Joey's like a worried mom.
He is like a worried mom. He's nervous Nancy on set, but that's okay. Somebody's got to do that. It is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, we started out in 1995 doing graphic design and web pages in the action sports industry, and here we are, 20 years later. We've been in business for 20 years. And we're producing, two of the biggest events in the off-road industry, and loving every minute of it. So we've grown, and our business has changed, and it's not the same industry that it was 20 years ago. But we love it, man. We love it. I wouldn't trade a weekend in the dirt with this group of people for anything in the world.
You want to know what I think is cool, though, about what you just said? You guys started out in the action sports industry and skateboarding and things like that, right? And things have kind of come full circle. I mean, we've got this movement, and I call it action motorsports.
Right.
You've got a lot of the players from the action sports industry now jumping into the action motorsports industry, and I think that's what's cool is things are starting to come full circle. They say with age comes a cage, and it doesn't matter whether you're a bicycle racer, a motocrosser, a skateboarder. I mean, it seems like everything's come full circle, and probably a lot of the companies you guys dealt with in the beginning when you were covering, say, skateboarding, are now involved in motorsports in some capacity. And I think there's a lot of crossover the UFC as well and the MMA side of things.
Yeah, it's like it's a punch bowl of all things male, right? all things adrenaline, I should say, because it's not always just guys. But yeah, we were around. I would guess it would be the second or third explosion or growth phase of skateboarding, and watched as the entire industry was affected by X Games, and got to participate in facilitating the growth of that industry via non-endemic brands, right? Your Gatorades and your Snickers and your Who Nots coming in, and there was some good that came out of that, and there was some bad that came out of that. But at the end of the day, I think that if you're a guy and you're into skating, surfing, snowboarding, whatever it is, everybody loves cars. We all love cars, and whether you're sideways on asphalt or sideways in the dirt, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Things are, pushing limits, right? Continue to push the limits and grow the industry and, and spread what we're doing, nationally, I guess, or internationally even, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the pleasure to go to a lot of different areas in the United States and see the different UTV, subcultures, you can call them, right? We've been down south to Mud Nationals in Texas. We've been out to Moab rock crawling. We've been up to the dunes on the West Coast, and we're actually planning to do some lifestyle trips with our friends at Polaris out on the East Coast this year. That's the thing I love about UTVs and the sport, is that there's just so much that you can do with this one platform, So again, the goal here this weekend, put the toughest race together with the best athletes in the world right now in UTV racing, and showcase that to the entire world with a fantastic hour of television. That's what we're here to do. That is what is going down tomorrow.
Well, Jim, I got excuse me, Josh. Jim and I were talking about this earlier. Trade shows, you got all the competition out here, all the different manufacturers,
right?
And there's kind of cutthroat sometimes, trying to get customers to come to their booth, and it's like, to a testament to you and your group, there isn't that this weekend.
Sure.
I'm not seeing any of that. Everyone, we were talking about this, everyone's clowning around, having fun with their competition, whether it be the manufacturers themselves or even the racers.
Yeah.
And this is obviously all before the race, but it's an environment that's fun. That is the key thing, the key word. Everyone's having a blast right now.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we put on the schedule this year was a business-to-business summit. So yesterday we gathered about 50, 60 of the most influential and important people here at this event this weekend. And, we all got in a room and sat down, ate some tacos, and talked about the industry. We talked about where we've come, where we're at, and where we want to be. And there were some marketing, topics that got discussed. There was discussions about manufacturing and, issues that we have with the federal government and access to trail systems and the stuff that we need to go riding. I mean, it's just, there's all these things that we as a group and a family really are working on to continue to grow this industry. We haven't even come close to putting the opportunity to own and or race a UTV in front of everybody in the United States, and that's really what we're trying to do.
And again, this is one of those events where you're causing manufacturers like Polaris to find another gear and step up their program to keep up with Mad Media and UTV World Championships.
Yeah, it's I got to give them credit. It's we push them, they push us, we push them. It's back and forth, and rightly so. They have high demands. That the same quality and the same attention to detail that they put into manufacturing their vehicles, they also put into how they want their brand represented and how they want to reach their customers. And it's a personal relationship. They feel like everybody that buys one of their cars is a member of their family, and we really respect that. We really relate to that. So we've been a good fit since day one.
Yeah. What's kind of cool, remember how we started this whole thing? Hey, you got 5 minutes to spare?
Yeah.
Half hour later.
Yeah. Well, I know. And it speaks volumes to what's going on, because, here we have one of the guys behind the UTV World Championship. We got the Godfrey clan in the house sitting down, and it brings everything kind of full circle, man. I mean, bringing people from all walks of life into this huge major event.
Yeah, this guy to my right here, he's taking it to a whole nother level, right? So one of the things that, we try to do at UTV Underground, and certainly here with the World Championship, is reach out to people with different stories, different backgrounds, different walks of life. And, bring them in here. Let them get in the car. Let them bang doors and let them compete. So, Jim, you got to introduce this guy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Yeah. As he puts his hands to his side, back takes one step back.
I think let's let him introduce himself. I think that would be the coolest part here. And give everybody your background. I mean, Godfrey Clan, you guys are synonymous with everything nuts.
First off, Godfrey Clan sounds like a group of guys from Kentucky, a family coming out of the woods and chasing a couple barrels of whiskey.
Kind of the same thing, but Utah, right? I mean,
yeah, Utah. We just out of the heart of Salt Lake, and we were born and raised doing the nitro circus stuff, so speed and adrenaline kind of is just bred into us, and so is crashing, so unfortunately. You learn to roll at a quick age, and I didn't roll one time, broke my back, and was paralyzed from the chest down, and that didn't slow me down other than walking. These casinos they're a pain to walk around, but it's great as I've got Joey rubbing my head.
Yeah, we got Joey. You give a show a little love.
There's some obvious man crush going on right now.
Yeah. But, what brought you out here to the UTV World Championship? I mean, I know I was emailing back and forth with Greg, and he's like, we're in, we're going to be there, and
Yeah, so I'm the only one that ended up showing up because the boys, 3 of them went to Australia for the Nitro Live Tour. And then the other 2 and Greg and my dad went to Africa to go ride with KTM. So we're kind of all over the globe right now, but all you get is me, unfortunately.
I think that's enough. I don't know if we can take any more, than this. But, so you've been out on the course at all? You had a chance to cruise around?
Yeah, I went and did the poker run, and it was so much fun. That course is going to be fast and dusty, and there's going to be a lot of broken machines.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't even found out, what vehicle you're actually racing, because I haven't heard what vehicle you're actually running tomorrow.
So I just bought a RZR 1000 a couple months ago, and so I've been getting it ready to come and do this. So it's kind of ready. There's going to be some zip ties on it like always, but it's ready for the most part, and got my trusty driving stick, so we're going to see what we can do.
Nice. I don't know. I've heard over almost close to 100 UTV entries. I mean, it's pretty insane. It's going to be wild, that's for sure.
Oh, it's going to be a chaos. If you aren't here watching it, you're missing out on some carnage.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, you guys, you're always pushing limits, got any ideas for some UTVs?
Yeah, we've got a few up in our brains a little bit. We're going to try to go after RJ's record. And,
laying the gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
That first 150 is not too bad, but the second 50 to get to 200, brother.
Yeah.
That's a gnarly one.
Yeah, it's going to be a task, so that's why I went with the RZR, because I just couldn't get going fast enough in my Wildcat. So we're praying we go fast enough and fly straight, and if it's either going to be a big jump or a big crash, so either way, it's going to be big.
It's like you're planning on it, yeah.
In Nitro Circus, they're born and bred Nitro Circus. That's it. It's go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
You should start a secondary company, an ambulance service. It would save a lot, I think, on a bill.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't get to the hospital very fast. You have to get a car repair service, too. That's where I'd make money.
My advice is not to do it in Washington. It's very expensive to build big jumps in Washington.
Yeah, luckily we've got a big jump built already. There's already been one casualty on it. A semi-truck didn't make it, so.
I think I saw that footage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But, I've even heard rumors of possibly, getting involved in some trophy truck racing. So I know it's been tossed around, at least by Greg, at least, and wanting to bring the whole family and getting them involved, right?
Yeah, it's that's the goal eventually, but we're going to start little and work our way big, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, but knowing you guys you take one step and then jump 5, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We work little and then take a big step.
That means next week the trophy truck could be on order.
Have you noticed as he's saying things, we're going to do this, and he sits there and shakes his head. Yeah, then we're going to do this, and then he shakes his head. It's kind of like, I can't believe we're going to do this, but we're going to do it, and shakes his head.
You just kind of go with it, go with the flow.
What do you make of all this, Josh Martelli? You know these guys, you know the family as well as anybody.
Yeah, we've known the whole Godfrey clan for years, going back to 2005, 2004, when Travis first got into rally racing. We spent many years out there in the woods filming him and the Subaru Rally team. Yeah, Tanner, your story's insane, bro. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. And when Joey came in the room, God, about a year ago, maybe more, and said that you were getting into UTV, I was psyched, totally psyched. I mean, you guys, what I'm impressed with is that you guys have this whole traveling empire of dudes, and anything you can jump off of or onto, backflip, flip around your head. I never had respect for a Razor scooter until I saw it in your show.
Well, and Jolene's become a really good friend of mine the past 3 years. And when you guys had the tour and went to Phoenix, she says, "Jimmy, come on out." And my wife and my daughter and Jolene brings us backstage and everything, and all the Godfreys. I mean, Travis. It was pretty amazing. I mean, it just welcomed me as family, and to be behind the scenes and see what the traveling tour does week in, week out. I mean, every night. I mean, like I was telling somebody earlier today, I said, it's an X Games best trick contest every night. I mean, any one of you guys at any given day, I swear, could go to the X Games and take home gold if you wanted.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of the top guys doing that stuff, and the difference is they do it because they love it, and that's what's driven Travis, and that's why Travis is the one and only Travis, is that he's so psyched that if somebody else landed the trick that he was trying to do, he's as stoked as if he would have landed it. And that's what the great part about that is that it's just a big family, and everyone's just so happy. You've got their quarrels, but everyone's so stoked when someone lands something, and that's what makes it unique.
As you guys sit around the hotel room or wherever you guys get together and sit around, has there ever been any idea of a stunt that somebody wanted to do, and everyone went, "Oh, hell no. No. Has there ever been that one thing?
There's people that say no, and then there's the others that say you won't do that.
Oh, shoot. Well, I think after this whole conversation, what scares everybody is knowing that now you're in a UTV, and the way you push limits, it's like, where are these guys going to push UTV racing?
Again, there he is, shaking his head.
Shaking his head.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've got some good captains with the Mad Media guys and Joey and UTV Underground that there's not really many boundaries that won't be pushed.
Yeah. Well, and talking about tomorrow, I mean, that first corner we've been talking about, starting 25 wide, going in the first corner. I mean, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
My prediction is that he's going to pre-apologize to both guys on either side of him.
Yeah, that's going to be, I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. Yeah, it's can't decide if it's either pin it and go for the win right there or just sit back and watch everybody just crash, because there's some big piles on the sides that you're going to roll if you hit those, or either way it's going to be entertaining for the spectators.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a 15-second motor test right there.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet though.
For sure.
All right, well, gentlemen, I have to say goodbye. My phone is blowing up, and
that's why you're kind of wiggling funny in the chair.
Like I can't.
It's on vibrate mode.
There's 10 things ahead of me, but always a pleasure to be on the show, Jim. Thank you for coming out.
All right.
Thank you, Tanner, for coming out as well. And we're about to get it on out here.
For sure. All right, Josh.
Thanks for your 5 minutes, Josh.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
See ya.
All right,
take it easy. That was Josh Martelli, one of the Martelli brothers behind Mad Media. We're here with Tanner Godfrey, the Godfrey clan. Talking some UTV racing, and I know we had Joe Duncan earlier talking Terracross. I mean. All kinds of things in UTVs you can get involved in now that you guys are here to play, right?
Yep. There's a market for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You like going slow, there's fast. It's whatever you like.
Yeah. So what else is on tap that you can tell us about for the 2015 for you guys or for you specifically?
We honestly plan as well as Mother Nature. You never know what's going to happen. There's some tricks that are going to be done on a mountain bike that will be done this year.
That shouldn't be done.
Yeah, because my brother and my cousin landed the triple backflip last year on mountain bikes, and that was the first ones. And then it's just, those guys are nuts in their thinking. So there's lots of things planned, but if they all go according to plan, that's the big question.
Oh, boy, is that loaded or what?
Yeah, it totally is.
Wow. Stay tuned.
Well, you know, and I know just you know, on the media side, talking with Greg when I was up at I was at Ken Block's in December, and he came out, and you know, I had him on an interview, and just the stuff, you know, that I know that he's talking about that are planned for you guys. It's really going to blow up in the next year. I know.
Yeah,
well,
it's
either a good blow up or a bad blow up, but it's blowing up one way or another, right?
Yeah, either it's going to be fun or there's going to be hospital visits. So hopefully it's good.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I know you're out cruising around here at the UTV World Championship, probably getting ready for the race tomorrow. But I appreciate you stopping by and taking some time with us to chat. And good luck tomorrow. We're definitely looking forward to seeing you compete. And hopefully, I guess, good. You know, you win it, you walk away with another razor, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of prize money on the line, so that's why we're here, and just to be a part of this flipping scene. This thing is nuts.
No flipping. No.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
well, we appreciate it, Tanner, and good luck, and thanks for stopping by, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Yeah, thank you, and have fun. Enjoy
All right,
yourselves.
yeah, take it easy, my friend.
You too, man. Good luck tomorrow, bud.
Thank you.
All right, you know, as Tanner sets his headset down, we've got RJ Anderson. RJ Anderson stepping up, you know, a guy synonymous with Polaris RZR. I don't know. We were just talking with Tanner Godfrey. He says he's attacking your world record, my friend.
Oh, I know he's got it in him. I know he does. So, yeah, it's awesome to see him out here in a RZR now, and I think that's going to be really cool to see what he can do with that thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I know we were talking with Josh Martelli just a little bit ago, and you know, there's so many different UTV series for Polaris RZRs and UTVs, and you know, you're running a lot of them. But I think the cool thing about the UTV World Championship, it doesn't matter what series, all the big names are here. I mean, if you take a win, you're winning against the best.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the who's who and everyone that's not even just bought their RZR yesterday, I feel like is out here right now at the UTV World Championship, and it's awesome to see how big the car count is, because that's for certain right now, is if you can come away with a win in this race, the desert race, the production 1000 race, you beat the best of the best dudes out there right now.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and you know, talking about you, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, tell us a little bit about your 2015 plans. We know, you know, obviously, you know, the Lucas schedule back on tap. You know, as far as RZRs, I know Terracross, you signed a 2-year deal for that, you'd said. You know, what else are we going to see you in this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, the unfortunate thing, I mean, I'm busy, which is good, but the bad part about that is that events conflict, you know. So, first and foremost, I got my Lucas Oil Off-Road Truck Series going on with the Pro 2 and Pro Light, and that's 9 weekends of racing this year. And then on top of that, I have all my RZR stuff, so that includes 9 rounds of works racing. Unfortunately, I missed 2 of those, so I'll be doing 7 works rounds this year, as well as the entire Terracross Racing Series. I'll be doing that for the next 2 years. So between all those events and a couple other events, I mean, the months get pretty filled up pretty fast.
Well, Jim, another one of my trophy car kids. You know, 2007, 2006, one of these kids that was like so tall and went out there and had a blast, learned a lot. Your dad was, Randy was spotting for you and helping you out with that. And go back to when you were in your mid-teens. Looking forward into the future right now, did you ever dream that you'd be in this position?
Yeah, no way. I started out racing lawnmowers. I mean, that's what they were, little like 6 horsepower motors, you know, and trophy cars, and they barely moved, and we still seemed to crash them all over the place and run into each other. But, yeah, starting at 14, I was able to do that, and then doing RZRs at 15, I mean, that was right when RZRs had started, and, I mean, we were running on the big tracks, and from where they were then to where they are now, I mean, we were basically wide open the whole track. I mean, so to see how far it's came and just to be in this position now is pretty crazy. I never saw that coming now.
Yeah. Well, and we've got another guest sitting down right next to you here. I'm wearing the HolesRacingProducts.com shirt as well. How's everything going?
Good. Everything's good.
Just hanging out and taking it all in. What do you make of the UTV World Championship, man? I mean, you know, we were just talking with RJ. I mean, it seems like everybody that's you know, a big name is here. I mean, what's it going to take to win tomorrow?
Well, for Bo Barron to win this thing, I'm going to have to beat this guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a bet with him, you know. If he slows down, I'll maybe slide in some money on the side. Does that work for you?
No, you know.
Team orders.
Yeah, right. No.
My whole shirt looks newer than yours, so I think I got seniority right now.
I know, RJ. You need a couple of cheeseburgers to fill that thing out, dude. Wow. Skinny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's the plans for you this year? Obviously, we got UTV World Championship on tap. What's the Bo Barron plans?
Dude, the Bo Barron plan is just to go out and have a good time all year this year. I mean, I'm going to run around and do the best I can at all these races. I've got the whole work schedule, just like RJ. I also do a bunch of ATV racing. I mean, that's my main gig. But this on the side is awesome. And, no, I'm really stoked to be here at this UTV World thing. I'm excited. You know, it's going to be an endurance race for sure. I think it's more so brains than speed at this one. I mean, just considering how much dust, and it's kind of flat ground, and it's no real uphill, downhill. It's not as tech, so I think there's just going to be a lot of bashing going on, a lot of whoops, bum, 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 and you just got to try to be as mellow as you can on your car, yet stay towards the front of the group. And it's going to be a real mental thing versus a normal sprint race for us, like his Lucas Oil or my Works Racing or whatever you call it. We just pin it as fast as we can, 45 minutes, done. This is a little bit longer, and it's going to take a lot more on the cars. It's going to take a lot more on the cars because we barely finished our other races. So to come out and finish this whole thing, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I definitely think with the length of, obviously the production class, I think is running a little bit shorter distance, but the desert class, either one, I mean, it's a long race. And, that course, you both had a chance to go around, and I'm sure, I mean, it's pretty rugged.
Yeah, it's going to be rugged. I mean, right now it's pretty smooth. They got it smoothed out pretty good, but it's a lot of soft sand, and we all know what sand does. As soon as you get the tires spinning, they start building whoops, and it all goes downhill quick.
Yeah. So, what do you think, RJ? I mean, this class, I mean, we got Chad Ragland popping in here. Just all kinds of people walking by, but, stacked field, I mean, that course, I mean, how's it play into the strategy tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm actually just getting texts on my phone right now, listening to Bo talk over here. I got a little time to plan strategy. I think I might be doing the second half of the desert race actually in the Coastal Racing car, so the Holds Racing Products Coastal Racing car. So we actually prepped that thing out of our shop, and I might be doing the second half of the desert race.
Wow.
So that's right before our race. So it's going to be a lot of seat time, and the course is going to get brutal, like Bo said. I mean, in the work series, which we do, there's a lot of technical spots most of the time, and we can kind of separate ourselves. The cream of the crop, so to speak, in our class. We can kind of get away and do our own thing and race with each other. We're out here with such high speeds and so many straightaways and so much up at stake with no points. Everyone's just going to be going for it, whether they got the ability or not. They're going to be holding it to the floor, and it's going to be, if you don't get off the start good and don't hold your composure, you're going to be out of this thing really quick.
RJ, I just can't believe, as I'm doing an inventory list in my head of all the different cars that you drive and all the different series that you're in, you are way too young to be just full to the pin already. I mean, we talked to Josh Martelli a second ago, and he's full tilt boogie, just doing what he does. You're a driver's version of that. What do you do to wind down? Because it's like it was just a few days ago that you're on the social media, is kind of pinching yourself a little bit. I never dreamed I would have had a semi, and you had a picture in the background of the RJ Racing logo on this big huge semi with the race cars out front. I mean, what do you do to wind down to get your mind off all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I just had my 22nd birthday a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And we spent it out the track testing, trying to get better, because that's what it takes right now. You can't really take days off. So, yeah, don't really wind down much. The cool thing about being out here in Laughlin is my family has a river house up in Needles, so we spent the day all day yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday too.
Bo came out testing. We were doing some stuff testing, making sure all the guys were going fast and ready to go, and got to go do some jet skiing and have a lot of fun doing that. So that's always kind of my getaway, is coming out to the river and enjoying it. I always say I never get out here enough, so it's refreshing always to make it out here and get that session. And I drove my RZR. We can drive straight out of our property, and I was driving well into like 11 o'clock last night, just doing night runs, having fun.
I know I shouldn't say this, but on drive here yesterday, I actually was watching. On the highway, I looked at Facebook, and here you are at the river with your picture and talking about what you were doing as I pass your dad. I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta get tunnel vision back on the highway here.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was awesome. I love coming out here and be able to do that kind of stuff. And Laughlin seems like the perfect place for this event. It's really cool. And the buzz around all this race and all the people here, I think this is really something that the Martelli brothers and UTV Underground and Best in the Desert have put together for all the racers and fans. I think this event's going to be here to stay for a while.
Well, we talked to Josh again, and it kind of like event like this has caused, I can't help but think that Polaris to kind of step it up a little bit and kind of find another gear to kind of keep up with an event like this. with everything that you're doing, with all those crazy videos and all the stuff you're doing, I'll call them stunts that you're doing, and kind of like it's like the same thing. You're causing Polaris to kind of go, okay, what is he going to do next? Meaning you with a RZR. I mean, the crazy jumps, I don't know what do you call it, the circle of death or whatever, that little tunnel thing you kind of drive through. I don't know what you call it, but I mean, it's something that obviously back at Polaris, the engineers did not. Okay, we have to design a car to do this, but yet you went out and did it.
That's cool about Polaris is we don't, as racers like me and Bo, we don't have to push them to design something better, to make something better for us as racers, because they already get it. They grab the gear, I guess you could say, on their own. They give us the equipment you need, and right now, if you're not racing a RZR out here at the UTV World Championship, your chances are like 1 in 100 because they are just so far superior. I think it shows in the support that they put back into the sport itself and racing. I mean, it's just awesome, and they are so far ahead of their time as far as everyone else is concerned. It's cool to have them involved, and it's cool for me and Bo to be involved in a brand that gets that, because as racers we have no choice but to be at the top of the game with our equipment, because that's the only way you're going to win in this day and age, and so they give us the platform to be able to do that.
Yeah.
No, Bo, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm getting word, speaking of manufacturers, obviously both of you aligned with Polaris, but Holes Racing, I know here at 2 o'clock, you guys have to step away. You got an autograph signing, right?
Yeah.
2 o'clock, the Holes Racing Products trailer?
Yep.
Yeah, I got to line up next to the 2-time champ over here, my teammate. So, yeah, five more minutes, and we're headed over to Holtz Racing Products to do some autographs.
I'm just going to be pumped to sit next to the freestyle guy.
Hollywood
Anderson.
That's I guess that's our combo. I'm the freestyle guy now, and he's the racer, the champ.
Should we start calling you Twitch of UTV or what?
Yeah, there we go.
I can see you twitching. Yeah.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, I know you guys are awful busy. I appreciate you taking the time to stop by. And I know big race tomorrow. Big seasons ahead of both of you guys. And, as always, RJ, great having you on air. Bo, welcome. First time to the air with me, but appreciate you guys both taking the time to stop by. And sure, we'll catch up with you later on today.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Looking forward to the race. And thanks for having us, guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good luck tomorrow, guys.
Bo Barron, RJ Anderson, and taking some time to stop by. They are going to the Holes Racing Products trailer to sign some autographs. So, anybody that's out here listening to this on your smartphone, you can hop over there. It looks like our next guest, Mark Burnett, is in the house. We're going to grab Mark here in just a second, but we're going to take about a 2-minute break real quick. We'll grab Mark Burnett, and we'll be back on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, here from the UTV World Championship. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris RZR products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris RZR. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, live from the UTV World Championship. Jim Beaver with my co-host Scott Rain. We're here with UTV racer Mark Burnett, Monster Energy, General Tire, Polaris RZR, and then we've got GMC Products Scott Gordonier here as well. So how's everything going, guys?
It's going really good. I'm excited to be out here. We had a long week to try to get a car together, but it's going to be a great event out here.
Well, this is no matter what form of motorsports it is. I don't care if it's NASCAR or dirt track late model sprint cars or UTVs. Why do you wait till the last week before the race and then you spend the thrashing.
That's in everything. I haven't had no sleep. We drove here all last night just to make sure everything was wrapped and looked pretty for everything out here. So we wanted to make sure it was a big presence for us, and which you guys will see tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys will be in one of my trailers announcing the show tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, right. I mean, the big thing is you never have enough time to work on the cars, right? You work on it till you leave and load the thing up. You get here, you unload it, you work on it some more. It never ends. You're never really done. You just got to keep working on it and get the thing ready to roll.
Then you got to throw in the wife/girlfriend quotient.
You spend too much time working on your car. You don't care about me. Where's your kid?
Well, and in Mark's defense, the poor guy, he gets a week off from doing anything. Because the first Best in the Desert race for the UTVs was early January, right? So he gets a week off, but he's a General Tire athlete, so he's got to come to the next Best in the Desert race with his UTV to a photo shoot for General Tire. So the week he gets off, he's still got to be at the race anyways with his equipment.
Yes, and it was a rough program, but we did get some testing done out here, and it was a good time though.
Yeah. For sure. So, what's your take on all this? I mean, both of you. I mean, we've got the industry perspective. We've got the racer perspective. I mean, UTV World Championship, Martelli said a year ago they were going to do it with the UTV Underground. I mean, here we are, and it's a packed house.
It is, and I'm really excited to be part of it. I came from bikes to trucks to now UTVs, and I can't believe how big it is, and I never thought it would ever get this big, and I'm still new to this. I get schooled by all these guys over here, the Jagged X guys, and all the good guys out there. There's a lot of great guys out here. RJ Anderson out here. I'm actually going to race the production class tomorrow, too. I'm going to race 2 classes out here for the first time, which is more my style as a production class for sure.
Wow, you're a busy guy. I can't imagine. I know for GMZ, it's been a busy month. You got the first round of works at Taft, and then straight into all the other events. February is a crazy month. You got Lucas Oil starting up. We're straight here the next weekend. I mean, it's like we're on tour, man. It's crazy.
It is, and I do freestyle motocross shows, so I'm doing 100 shows a year. But I see your stuff all the time. You guys are getting really big out there. I see all your tires and stuff. I see your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Definitely, guys are coming up in the world in those tires for sure.
Yeah, we're working hard, man. We definitely have a lot of experience. People may not have known the brand or see the brand. It's a new brand for us, but me and my partners, we have 20, 30 years of experience in UTV, ATV, wheel, and tire manufacturing. So, we come from a long history of being in the industry. It's just kind of a new brand, new company, and it's going good for us, man.
Yeah, I see you a lot out there. I really do. I see your pictures out there a lot, and the tire. A lot of people are out there using your tire. It's a good tire.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys, and I got to take a second here just to give these guys props because they've all stepped up. We're helping them. Obviously, we're sponsors, but we got Jacob Shaw who's running this weekend. He runs all the work series, and he's out here for the World Championships. We got Nick Templeton that really specializes in the Lucas Oil stuff for us. He's a great driver. He's here. Cody Raiders, he's running our tire only, but he's a great driver. One of the champions for Lucas Oil. Bryce Lamont. We got Danny Rossenwig, who ran the 850 or 800 class last year at Works and won the championship there. Got Katie Vernola, one of the only female racers out here. She's stepping up. She's doing a great job for us. Jeff Obering, that guy has been around for a while. He's running a ton of classes. George Hamill in the Supercuts car. We got all the UTV Wolfpack guys, Jason and Jeremy Merrill. George Hamill's part of their team. Stacy Pike. The list is crazy. They all showed up for this great event that UTV Underground's putting on. We're just stoked to be here.
It looked like you guys are giving a lot of tires away there, man. That was a big list right there.
Okay, there's the 100 entries.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot for GMZ though to have that many entries running on your tires.
It is. Me and Brandon Miller, who's the M in GMZ, and Paul Zhao, who's our head designer and engineer. And we're all racers at heart. We're all passionate about racing. I feel like we're more involved in the racing side and more hands-on than a lot of these companies. We're all racers at heart. We put a lot into this, and we want to win races. We want to win championships, and that's what it's all about.
Well, just so you know, there's going to be a new competitor out there for you guys out there pretty soon.
There's a lot of people getting into it.
GT is going to be coming out there pretty hard. They're going to be advertising. They're going to be coming out with a new gym. I don't know if you even know that they're going to be coming out with a UTV tire too.
No, I knew. Lisa's told me. I didn't know for sure. I had heard rumors. I know a lot of the GT guys are running the all-terrain, the 30-inch all-terrain, right?
And I've been using a couple of different ones, testing and seeing what's out there, but definitely. There'll be some other competitor. I heard Toyo and a couple other competitors out there, but GT is definitely. I pushed him pretty hard for a year ago, and now Travis out there is definitely going to be out there pushing the new UTV tire, which is going to be You know how they are marketing-wise there, Jim. They don't mess around.
Well, we're those are the big boys for sure. We're the small kid on the block, but here's the big thing, man, is that it's monkey see, monkey do. A lot of guys run these small truck tires. They're full radial, steel belted, and these are 1,500 pound cars. The steel belted radial stuff gives you a super rough ride. The bias ply stuff works really good. It's a lot smoother ride. The guys that run the bias ply UTV only tires, it's a different deal, and the thing we got going for us is these truck guys are going to have to get down to our level and get back to the bias ply, get back to the standard and the beginning of the tire manufacturing in the industry and redesign their stuff to keep up with us.
No, I'm with you. I see a lot of that, and I can be a person that I'm sure a lot of people know. Sometimes I run a different tire here and there, and General wants me to test a lot of tires out there, and you're one of the tires out there. It's really good.
Well, it's really interesting too, because it's like we often talk about motorsports where a product that's on a race vehicle gets raced, tested, then taken off and analyzed. And then about a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road, whatever you guys learn from that race or that test session is in the product that's on the shelf.
Absolutely. We have the most respect for these guys. General Tire's a huge company. They build a great product. Same with BF Goodrich. And it's all good for the industry. It's good for the sport. That's what it's all about. Let's grow this thing. Let's get it to where it needs to be. And those companies can help do that.
And what do you think about this whole program? Like you said, I'm still blown away. The pit area, Casey putting on the great show. But I heard there was 311 entries for this event today. That's what they just said down there when I signed up. Wow. 311 was a number that was at early this morning for the poker run, not just for the people at the poker run, but 311 entries was supposed to be what they're having out here this weekend.
Wow, because I know earlier we'd heard 200 on the pre-run, and obviously that includes the bike and ATV community, but that's still a massive amount of entries for an event in its first year.
Yes, it's a big deal.
It's every time you start out with something new, a one-off kind of money event like this where there's big prizes and there's no points involved. There's a lot at stake. Everyone wants to win that race, that big star, that big trophy, and it's the start of what's to come. And I think that this is a great event. UTV Underground, Best in the Desert. They've done a great job of getting this thing started, and I can't wait for next year just to see it grow and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, Matt Martelli and them, they put on the Mint 400, and they got that deal done, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. We'll be out there doing, like I said, a freestyle show out there too. So might even flip a UTV out there. I might come out there and bring that.
I've heard rumors of it.
Yeah, I might bring that out there and do it for them out there for that show. So I'm kind of stupid still. The older I get, the stupider I get.
Hey, whatever. That's pretty awesome, man. Yeah. I like to see that. That's great.
Well, here's asking you. I mean, you've got the longest running freestyle motocross tour. You guys are like you said, 100 dates a year.
Yeah.
You're running the Best in the Desert series. You're running the Score series. I mean.
I did bite a lot. I feel it now. This year, I am not going to lie to you. I've been doing this 19 years now, and I started freestyle motocross in Las Vegas with Travis Pastrana when he was a baby, 14 years old, and it's grown so much in freestyle world, and we do so many different shows across the United States, from NASCAR, IRL, you name it. We've done David Letterman, Jay Leno. The list goes on and on. We've done so many shows, and this year I decided to race. Polaris wanted me to race both series, and I think I bit off a little bit too much to do 100 shows. So
yeah, it makes for a long year, a lot of weekends. But I don't know. You're young enough; you can handle it.
I don't know about young enough. I
have
the
honey-do
list? That's right, the honey-do list. That's right.
You're slacking.
My wife didn't. She didn't. She's like, you took a little bit too much on. And I've been working night and day trying to get this car set up because I like to go and I want to win right from the get-go. So I'm trying every different thing, and I shouldn't try so much because the stock car works so well. The new Polarises are unbelievable. And I'm just trying to beat guys like the Jagged X guys over there and stuff. Yeah, we won the championship last year, but these guys are all great. I'm still learning from all these guys. It's on a truck. If it was a truck world, it's pretty easy for me. But these UTVs, if I can get the belt to last.
He sounds tired.
I am tired. I am. I'm dying right now.
He works night and day on his UTV. Getting as best as it can, whatever ideas you have, and then you show up thinking you got the machine, and all of a sudden Guthrie's pull up with this offset chassis, crazy design, something that nobody else has.
Oh, I got my ass handed to me. I think at the San Felipe 250, I'm going down the straightaway. We're like in second, and all of a sudden a McFarlane just goes right by us like we're standing still, and this is a flat road, and I'm doing like 70, he's doing like 80 by me.
It's like Like you got the anchor out, right?
Yeah, like an anchor, you know?
It's
like,
what happened?
What did I do wrong? And then I got to go back to the drawing board again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
There's a lot of good guys out there. There's going to be
one less
great
cupcake during the week, okay?
That's true. But when you get older, that's what happens. You get a little more belly in there. You get more weight. It's a lot hard deal.
Yeah, I think a big thing here is, like you touched on it, Polaris Industries, the Polaris RZR, I mean, that whole crew, I mean, none of this is possible without their support.
Oh, it is.
They're helping grow the sport. They help put on these events, with UTV Underground. I mean, it's something you can't even compete with. It's something that puts on a great venue for everybody to compete with.
Well, Matt, the Martelli brothers and stuff, and same with you, Joey and them. It's nobody to mess around with when he wants to do something. Matt and them, when they say, "Hey, we're going to do something," they go all in, and I guarantee next year is even going to be bigger. It's going to be exciting.
Well, we talked about earlier that an event like this, especially a first-time ever event like this, it has gotten so large so fast. Just by walking through contingency, I can't help but think Polaris, as a manufacturer, this event is causing them to grab another gear.
Yeah.
You as a manufacturer, what are you looking at next year? Go, okay, guys, we got to step it up to keep up with these guys.
Well, hey, even though there's 6 gears, you got to grab 7th and just try, right? You got to keep developing. You got to come up with new product. You're always trying to come up with the new thing and keep ahead. And we're a startup company. It's good and everything's going great.
We got tires and wheels too, right?
Yeah, we do tires and wheels for just about every 4-wheeler, quad, UTV, ATV on the market, and we're pushing hard. We're moving east. We're trying to brand our name further east, and we're really involved with the new series that's starting out east. I mean, those guys are coming on hard. That stuff's just going to keep growing on the east side of the U.S. And there's a organization coming together. It's called East Coast UTV Nationals. It's big. It's actually sponsored and sanctioned by AMA. It's going to be huge. When they crown a champion at the end of 2015, it's going to be the AMA UTV champion. And GMZ is proud to be a sponsor of that series.
Yeah. Well, and you, Mark, I mean, obviously 2015, we know your schedule. I got to say, you're the reigning Mint 400 champion, too. I mean,
No, not champion. I got second. You get these boys right there. These guys are heroes. Now, San Felipe 250, I won. The Baja 500, I won.
Baja champion. I'm sorry.
Baja champion. That's my world. Baja's my world. Been racing there since the early 90s, and riding for Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and it's a different world. Like I said, riding UTV. The older you get, you got a cage in there, But I went from trucks to that, so I was like, these things go pretty fast. They're getting better and better every year. You're going to see so much new technology in the next year or so with turbos and paddle shifters and stuff that we've been testing and things like that. You're going to see a lot of cool stuff out there soon here in this market.
Is there a point where it gets too fast, though?
I would say, and honestly, I don't ask Polaris this, but just think of the people that are driving these things that don't have any experience whatsoever, and then they're doing 80 and 90 miles an hour. It's like water skis, they're ridiculous. You fall off, you're going to get hurt,
Face plant.
I mean, they're unbelievable. The speeds they're getting out of these cars now. They're going to be close to Class 10 in a matter of years here. So, they're not going to be a trophy truck guy like you, but they're going to be.
He had to go there.
I did have to go there.
Yeah.
So how'd that Parker would race?
Yes!
I want to know how that worked. I want to go down that road.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, it didn't work real well at all when I tried to run over the top of a Class 1 car.
Very successful cage test.
That's I heard about that.
Test.
Yeah, it was. It's interesting. You got to see the in-car video. It's pretty wild. Guy was just literally checked up at a road crossing and got pretty wild. But Two Bar Films is got it in his next video already. So.
Nice. Are you gonna? Did you finish that race?
What's that? We got the truck back going, but ended up damaging one of the A-arms. And we went like another lap, and the A-arm ended up breaking, and it was due to the crash. It got weakened, and we didn't know it. There was a crack, and so we'll be at the Mint 400 though, and I'm also running Terracross this year. So
I was going to ask you about that because I saw the thing here. Okay, what does it take to run this class? This is like my style. Motocross where I grew up.
When we go off air, circle back. I'll introduce you to the owner, Joe Duncan of Terracross.
Really? I'd love to meet him.
I'd
love to meet him. A lot of these guys I race with their dirt bikes and stuff, so it's going to be kind of cool.
It's fun. You just show up, drive, they handle all the prep. It's my style, man.
No,
that's awesome.
I agree. From our standpoint, a more of a spec class, make it a driver's race. I mean, that's what it's all about to me.
I agree with that.
There's a lot you can do, and it's fun for us as tuners and mechanics to kind of try to get these guys dialed in. But for Terracross, I think it keeps it really fair, and they try to make it a driver's race, and you kind of just do an arrive and drive and show up and run the series, and it works good.
I'm looking at some of the people here. Jason Ellis, come on now. Is he going to put it on the lid here? How many times did he put it on the lid? I got to give him I got to give him a hard time. I see a lot of these guys out here. I see MC a lot. He's riding Cowies now. So There's all kinds of people riding these things out there, man. That's good. There's a lot of good people out there, a lot of famous people and cool people out there in that series. So
I like some of these face expressions in this shot.
I
here,
do.
like
I
this.
see some of those too. Those are some good ones right here.
Trying to look aggressive for sure.
Yeah.
So do you think tomorrow, since the race, I'm just curious. A lot of people were crying about the start. You know, I'm a motocross kind of guy, so I like to bang. You know, a lot of people don't like me because I hit people. And I don't take no crap. And if they have a problem, they come and see me later on. It's not a big deal. So I wondered, what do you think of the start? I looked at it. It looked pretty small in that little turn right there. It's going to be kind of interesting.
That's what everybody's trying to, 25 wide.
It's not 25 wide. Now, I'm not sure about that. I was told it was 25 wide, but I looked at the paper downstairs, and it said 1 through 15, row 1, row 2, 16 through whatever number it was.
Oh, so
they smalled it down.
Yeah.
They cried about it. It's on the wall. It's on the wall down there in the entry area.
Still 15 wide. Think about it.
Still that's pretty wild though. But
you think that's wild?
Well, I'd rather
15 wide?
I'd rather have it 25 wide going into turn 1 than 15 wide and 4 rows.
Yeah, but no, you got 30 seconds. That's what they said. So first row got 30 seconds. I didn't know that.
Is it a time? It's only on time, or
I guess that's what they said.
Huh?
I don't know much about it, but I'm game. I told you, screw it, man. If you fall and flip over, just flip me back over. I'm good to go.
Sounds like a trophy car race. Oh,
that's
man.
exactly. It's going to be on. I can't wait to see it. It's too bad I can't watch the race. You know what I mean?
Well, they're good. They'll be good film we can go back and look at. I mean, it's going to be exciting for sure. Turn 1's going to be huge. It's going to be, like most racing in general. If you make it through turn 1, you get the whole shot, you get a good start. You're going to be on
it's
on
dusty.
the gas.
It's dusty out there. I just want to know one thing though. It's the flattest I've ever drove in Laughlin. I can pretty much ride.
Pretty smooth out there.
Smooth?
Yeah.
It's as smooth as this table right here. That's how smooth it is. If you've ever been here in Laughlin, you might know.
It's like the Laughlin Desert Challenge of old, though. It starts out that, and by
no way,
by
it still won't be that bad.
It's
still not even that bad. You're right, but it's not going to ever get that bad. I don't think. I've never seen it so smooth before. So
it's a horsepower track. Then
it is a horsepower track. So whoever has a badass motor, and that's not me, but I've been working on suspension. But I have a stock motor in my car right now, so. Mark Queen, I bent the crank and did all that problems like that, so I couldn't get a motor done in time. But, hey, we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, well, if they throw some water at it, it'll keep the dust down. The track will even be better. It'll be tacky. I mean, it's going to be a good race, man. And, it's all or nothing. That first turn's going to be everything.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to be way in the back of the pack, so when people hopefully roll over right there, I come in the inside.
So that's all the way around the outside.
Yeah. Whatever, outside, inside.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I agree, man. You're on it. You'll be the guy to watch.
All right. Well, Scott, Mark, I appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by, and great catching up with you on products, Scott, and Mark. Good luck tomorrow, my friend.
I appreciate it. And I want to know, we're on this little thing. Where are you going to put the trailer? Where's the fans going to be? Where do you want that big trailer to be?
I have no idea. We need to circle back with Joey D on that for sure.
Okay, well, we'll put it wherever you want, and got a big old sound system for you. So I guarantee everybody and their mother will hear you out there.
Yeah, we want to. GMZ wants to thank again everyone for putting this event on. We're happy to be here. It's the third, fourth event of this month, and there's a lot going on, but this is going to be awesome.
You were not this talkative last night at dinner.
Well, hey,
he's working the business, dude. This guy, he is a worker. I have to tell you that.
He's got GMZ backstories.
I give you props, dude.
Today's all business.
He's all business. I like his style.
I like the sales.
Yeah, let's go have some fun. Let's get some racing going here.
That's right.
All right, thanks a lot,
guys. Nice seeing you
guys. Good luck tomorrow. Scott, thank you so much, sir.
All right.
See you guys.
All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks for stopping by. And looks like up next in the hot seat, Chad Ragland. He's going to be stopping in, and I guess Chad's going to be our last guest of the day, Scott. It's been a great day so far. It's been an awesome day so far.
Yeah, some really cool names stop by. We're supposed to actually follow a schedule here of who's coming on air, but the thing is, as people are walking by, they grab a chair, sit down. We got some of the best names doing it. Even Chad Ragland.
Yeah, Chad.
Even.
I got to tell you, seeing you out here, you're a guy. We were just talking with Mark Burnett. You've raced Laughlin in the Desert Challenge form, score days, right?
Yep.
That course, I'm sure you've been around it already. They're saying it's lightning quick. I said, if it's like score days, that thing's going to get degraded in a hurry.
Yeah, whatever that gravel is out there, it does degrade real quickly. I think they did a pretty good job of grading it. I think the thing will stay. I don't know. There's so many UTVs out there. It's gonna deteriorate, but it's gonna be fast for a while. Yeah. It's gonna be a rally race for a while.
Yeah, first lap or two.
Sure.
Prediction.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah, those cars will go good on that thing.
All right. Well, speaking of that, here's a guy. your dad, Lightning Larry Ragland, just absolute legend. You've driven trophy trucks before as well. Here we are, and you're knee deep in the UTV industry now.
I'm fully into it.
Yeah, you're all in the UTV industry.
Oh, by the way, I beat you this week.
You did?
Yeah, on Xbox 360.
Oh. I'll have to go set a higher score, obviously.
So
I'm getting rusty. I'm fully into it. I think it was Mad Media asked me to come out for the unveiling of the RZR XP 1000 in Oregon at an event called Dune Fest, and I had never driven a RZR. I hadn't been in any UTV, and I went out for that deal, and it was RJ, myself, and their crew, and we got to take people for rides, and it was an incredible event. I got to do a little bit of racing there, had a blast. After that, I told my dad, I said, hey, Dad, you need to think about these things. They're pretty fun. And my dad's not a dune guy, never wanted to go to the dunes. When BJ takes his truck out there, my dad doesn't understand that. He's just not a dune guy. To us, that's hard on equipment. But anyways, talked him into coming to Camp RZR, and he drove his first RZR then, and he's been completely hooked. Yeah, he's into it, and I own a company now, CageWorks, making stuff for these things, and yeah, I couldn't be more excited. It's pretty fun.
Well, and I got to tell you, you're in your dad's builds. I see UTV builds all the time. You see UTV builds all the time, and to be honest with you, a lot of them I look at and it's boring. Move on. The build you and your dad did, they stopped me. And that's saying something. I mean, it's such a cool mix of a desert car and what we're used to in a traditional UTV. I mean, I just love the builds, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. There are some incredible people making really neat stuff out here. Our goal was, hey, we want to go on long rides, whether it's in Arizona, California, or Baja, and we need to be kind of self-sufficient. So we've got axles on there. We've got ways to change tires and jacks and everything, and that was our goal.
I'm really bummed, though. He had his RZR at King of the Hammers on display a little bit out in front on the stage. I kept looking at that thing. Never once did he invite me to take it for a ride. Not once.
That's because as soon as you were off the air, man, it was like you were gone. So that's when the rides happen.
So,
but they're fun. Yeah, they're fun.
Well, take us through this because you're kind of like me. You balance a lot of hats in this industry and stuff, but you're going to be out there racing tomorrow too, right?
No,
you're not. No. But I know we're seeing you in Terracross, right?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to get to do Terracross again. I'd love to do this, but a man who wears many hats can't spread himself very thin, or it can happen real easy, and I just don't have enough manpower. If I'm going to go race, I want to go out there and win. I don't want to look silly, and I just don't have enough time to show here continuously. What a great showing here. Yeah. And our company's small, and so no, I won't race tomorrow, but I see some racing. My dad said he'd race with me in the UTV, so I think that'd be fun. So we'll go put one together and we'll go do some races.
Yeah,
and my dad actually did this Terracross race in Del Mar last year. They invited him to go do it.
Oh, we heard about that, yeah.
He did a front flip in the air in his RZR. He's so fired up and landed back on the wheels, but it rung his bell. So, I mean, the thing hit hard, and it broke a bunch of stuff. And that he's like, you know what, I'm out. I'm not going to do it. No good will come of it. So he's done it too, but.
Yeah, well, and I'm excited about Terracross. We had Joe Duncan here, and
he's a character, good
guy.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. I mean, it's a class. Arrive and drive. You show up, and it brings so many drivers from so many different walks of life.
All these guys are neat guys. That snowmobile guys, X Game guys that I didn't know. Really, really neat guys. Guys that I didn't think could wheel very hard, and most of them can drive pretty darn good. I mean, they put up a good race, and it's tough. It's supercross for UTVs. I mean, the jumps and stuff that we do, we got to do big gaps. We're hucking those things. It's fun.
Chad, talk about your company a little bit and what it's all about, because it's like it was fun kind of hanging with you at King of the Hammers, because when we walk around a little bit, he's taking inventory on all the UTVs going by. Oh, there's my cage. And he'd run up to it and look at it and look at this and look at that.
I'm just a proud papa.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. And he's, there's another one of my cages. Run over and look at it. What's your company all about? Where did it come from? How did it start? And how did you get to where you're at now?
I have a great partner, a guy named Danny Gormican, and he's designed lots of trophy trucks, designed lots of race cars, all sorts of different race cars. Really, really smart, super good fabricator. He understands not only the design and stuff, but how to get it manufactured. So together, we just saw a big opportunity in this growing market, and we put a company together that produce parts that we thought were in need and made sense, one of those being a cage. And we do bumpers, we do suspension, we do sway bars in roofs and stuff like that. And we just wanted to do things a little bit better. We thought we could do them at a better value and at a better product. So that's been our goal. And we're tiny. We're just a small guy. But
and you're really active on the social medias to the point where it's like I'm seeing updates of yours You'll have pallets and pallets of bumpers ready to go, ready to be shipped out. Same thing with cages.
Well, thanks. For me, all my promotions pretty much had to come from internally. I haven't had big sponsors to do that. So if I want to race and be out there, I got to promote myself. So that's kind of what just by necessity, I've learned to take advantage of social media and keep myself around. But one of the other things is if you're going to do one-off on all this stuff, which there's some amazing fabricators out here. Guys, that put together beautiful stuff, but they do it one-off, and it's so hard to make money doing it that way. So what we wanted to do is let's produce these things in much bigger bulk and sell kits where guys can still fab these, they can do it themselves and save a bunch of money. So that's been our theory, and that's why, some of these pallets we do big orders so that people don't have to wait. That's the other thing. It's hard when you need stuff and you're 2 or 3 weeks out. It's tough.
And where's your shop located at?
San Marcos, California.
So what's the plans? I got to ask you because I know Martelli's have been doing a lot of filming with your dad and stuff for the Mint 400. But I got to ask you. Obviously, we know the Trailblazer trophy truck's still there. I got to say, is Arnold still in the family, right?
Yeah. Same place.
And I know you guys from once in a while you'll surprise everybody and drag it out to Parker, one of these events. Is there any thought of you and your dad? I know the last couple of times you guys have kind of split driving in it, right?
No. Let's see. Well, the last time we raced Arnold was 2005 I'll do a quick story. 2005, I was racing with Collins, and my dad was racing with Brian. I was by myself, though, and I was racing Arnold. My dad was in SPD, or now an ID Designs trophy truck, with Brian. Started that race, and I had another guy that was just going to fill in and drive the last part of the race. So as I'm doing my lap, I see Brian Broke out there and knew my dad's and his day was done. Well, it turned out I was led most of that race. Arnold couldn't have ran better. It was such a great day for that truck. Everything was perfect. So when I got in for my driver change, we had about 10 minutes right there, and they yanked me out. My other guy gets in, and I kind of turn away, and I think everything's fine. I said, well, where's my dad? And they go, no, your dad got in. And I said, what do you mean? And go, no, he didn't. He wants to go win this race. He's in Arnold. So I'm like, oh wow, and it went good for about another 100 miles. We were only about 200 miles away. Arnold ended up seizing, and the engine kind of fell apart, and it was heartbreak. So that was the last time we raced Arnold, and that was 2005. Then I did in 2008 with T-Force race with my dad, and we got third overall in that one together.
Yeah, well, I got that truck.
The Vortex truck, the Trailblazer, I think he's going to bring it out of retirement for at least for the Mint to marshal that thing and to bring it. And I know Mad Media's got plans for it. They'll do some filming, and maybe Nora or something else he'll do too.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's funny because your family. I mean, you guys have some of the most iconic race cars. I mean, you think Arnold, you think of the Vortex Trailblazers. I mean, there's some iconic vehicles. The old Chevy Thunder paint schemes. I mean, it's kind of cool to have that type of nostalgia.
Yeah, it's been neat that my dad's been able to keep them. Arnold was owned by Chevrolet. Actually, John Nelson built that truck, so my dad was lucky enough to inherit it. The Trailblazers, General Motors owned those up until about 3 years ago, and my dad had an opportunity to get it. So, and he has his Pikes Peak truck that the Herzogs did, and he has that one too. So he's got a lot of neat ones. My dad's he's not a super nostalgic guy. I think he'd rather be active and still doing something, but he ended up with some neat toys, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, make for good stories, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how about you? I mean, 2015, what are your plans? Obviously, we hear Terracross. You've got Cageworks. Anything else planned for you this year?
Yeah, I would love to go race the Mint in a trophy truck. I mean, that would be huge. I would like to do the 500 and then the 1,000. But it's hard. I got to go out there and petition. There's not a whole lot of teams that need drivers. Most all these guys can do it themselves, and there's only a couple races they need help. So, I wish it was in the financial situation I could go sponsor myself, but I'm begging for rides, man.
No, I get it. I totally do. But appreciate you taking the time to stop by. I know.
Thanks for having me.
I know.
Are you guys having fun today?
Yeah, I was having a great time. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, man. I mean,
it'll be good.
It's gonna be some good racing out there.
What time do we start? 8?
The bikes start early.
Yeah, they're early.
We got early start.
And then we're here. We got. Rusty, he's bringing us in the loop. We got 7 to 4 o'clock racing, so I guess 7 a.m. is the kickoff for bikes.
Yeah,
and,
10 a.m. desert.
10 a.m. desert, and then production starts after that.
Yeah.
So, it should.
Well, anyone who's thinking about it can make it out to Laughlin. You should, because this will be neat. I know Martelli's have huge plans for this thing. Joey D has done such a good job at promoting and just thinking outside the box and trying to bring everybody together for one big UTV race. This thing will just keep growing. I hope it does.
Any big plans for basically the Terracross race that's in your backyard? I mean, you live in San Marcos, and
my big plan would be I'll try and not break and finish that main. That would be
Del Mar?
huge. Yeah, it would be huge for me.
Any like special guest party? I mean, it's got to be your. Well, obviously it's the best race for you guys.
That's close. For
with
me
all
it's
friends
super
and
easy.
family.
And what a neat venue to go in Del Mar. Del Mar's
kidding,
awesome.
No?
My big plan would be once they put dirt back in that thing, because they're getting rid of all the fake dirt, and I think they already did it, and go out there and have that mile again, race someone.
Race it on the horse track.
I think they're going to bring back motorcycles back on the mile now.
Really?
Yeah, they brought real dirt in. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking.
My girlfriend's uncle and then his father are the only two father-son in the AMA Hall of Fame, and he was flat tracker, used to do Daytona and Del Mar, so yeah, it's got a little bit of history there. Yeah, they had an Indian dealership in San Diego for years and years, so that would be cool. I love racing there.
Very cool. Well, we've got to kind of wrap this up. It's almost 3:30, but it's been a great 2.5 hours, Scott. We got Chad Ragland sitting here, Scott Rain.
Couldn't end it any better with this guy.
Yeah, we couldn't end it any better than Chad Ragland. If you're on the fence about coming out, it's free tomorrow. Make your way out. If you're in Nevada, Arizona, Southern California, make the drive out. I think there's still some rooms available in Laughlin. Racing all day, it's free. There's arrive and drives tomorrow with Polaris RZR. Lots to happen. Weather is absolutely beautiful out here. And, continuously still going on for a few more hours. So definitely make your way out here, and should be a great time. I know we've got meet and greets for those of you locally listening in. Later on today, out in front of Harrah's, got a pro UTV clinic out in front of Harrah's, just started not too long ago. So lots going on. On behalf of Scott Rain, Jim Beaver, Chad Ragland, we got our buddy Rusty, who has been running production at UTV Underground, and all of our partners in Polaris RZR. We will see you tomorrow. We'll be airing starting about 9 a.m. Right here at UTVUnderground.com. Thanks for staying tuned.
Thank you.